Hello and welcome to the DPC Chinese region. My name is Nomad and joining me on the panel today we've got Black and Lizard to take us through today's series of Dota 2. Now we do just have one series today, but it's going to feel like an absolute marathon, I believe, because I think this is a very exciting one. Before we get into that, I think we should take a step back and have a look at the region as a whole. It's been a region of upsets like most of them have been. China has been very upside down. A team which we thought doing very well, Elephant, actually down near the bottom of the schedule, and a lot of the other teams have proved some upsets, such as Astra and IG. Two qualified teams are now at the top of the standings, which we can now take a look at and see exactly where everyone is looking. And as you see there, Team Astra and Team IG up there with the 3-0. Meanwhile, LBZS and Magma, with no surprise at the 0-3, the two kind of new coming teams to the upper division. And meanwhile, everyone else battling it out in the middle. And in fact, it's at the middle where we're going to be having a look today. In fact, exactly at the middle, as we have Vici Gaming playing up against Ehome. Wow. What a series this one's going to be. Firstly, Black, welcome to today's game. So you excited to get into some Chinese Dota?
Yeah, it's been a while. Hopefully today they won't be, you know, as lopsided as we have seen in the past. We always say it's going to be really close, and it turns out not really. One team has a huge advantage over the other. But today's series should be pretty close on paper. So from what I've seen, the performances were pretty similar, but still giving a little edge to VG probably.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I agree a little bit. At the same time, if you look at their results versus IG, at least Ehome managed to win one game, right? Like Vici Gaming didn't.
That's an achievement, yeah.
Yeah, that's a small achievement at least. And if you're looking at Vici Gaming's games prior to the IG one, yeah, they won too, but they played versus LBZS and Magma, right? So
yeah,
it's LBZS and Magma. They're, you know, it's sad to say, but they're the teams that everyone expects to beat in the Chinese region.
Yeah, and VG looked not that good. Who did they play last?
IG.
IG, yeah, they did not look super good against them. Quite vulnerable. So we'll have to see how they match up against Ehome.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to get a read on Vici Gaming because, of course, you know, they've had 3 series, but their 2 wins were against LBZS and Magma, and their 1 loss was against IG. So
in which they didn't look good.
Yeah, but I mean, they've faced the 2 bottom and they've faced the 1 at the top. You know,
exactly.
One of the 2 at the top. So where they stand in the middle, well, this game's kind of going to help us figure that one out. You know, this is going to give us kind of the power reading on this team, if you like. Meanwhile, Ehome, we've seen a bit more of. They've been busy. They've been playing a lot. Probably not hitting the standard we expect from a team with such experienced players as Chalice and Xnova. You know, 2 players which have been playing together for the past 3 years non-stop. We expect them to have the structure and the stability which they really don't have. Why do you think that is so far?
I mean, there could be a couple of reasons, you know. Obviously, they have 2 Malaysian players that aren't actually in China with them, so that's probably a little bit uncomfortable. Their ping is probably going to be a little bit higher than the other players, and they're relatively new as well. So there's like a lot of little hurdles they have to overcome, you know, and haven't managed to thus far.
Yep. Xnova actually has a message for all his Western fans about this situation right now.
I always get that, like, talk to Xnova.
Yeah, he's a social butterfly, our Lizard.
Exactly, that's it. And he's the one kind enough to message back and talk to us, as not many are. But in any case, he said that they might not be doing well recently, but they're trying their best, and they hope they don't disappoint all their fans. They love them, and they hope they continue supporting Ehome. So that's kind of nice.
How can you not support Xnova? He's such a lovely guy, always trying his hardest, and as he says, you know, they know they're not performing at the standard they want to be. They're doing their best to remedy that, but that's not going to be easy when everyone else is in the exact same boat. Vici Gaming, you know, with these players they've got the experience of like Ori and Old 11, but then they've also got a couple of the newer players like D1 and Poyoyo, for example, I think is
Erica.
Yeah, Erica, as he was previously known as. You know, these guys, it's a mixture, like a lot of these Chinese teams are, because they're trying to replicate success of the past when you get some experienced players, pair them with some new blood. Do you see it working in the long run?
It might. Right now, it definitely doesn't look that great. Like, it's not the standard that you expect from Vici Gaming. Like you said, chatting up a little bit with Xnova, he thinks that the only one that's not in form on Vici Gaming is Ori, and that they're scary when he's on form. But for me, honestly, Old 11 did not look that great in the last couple of games that we watched.
Yeah, his Enigma and everything.
His Enigma, then the Lycan pick. Okay, and Lycan pick, you can say he did as much as you can do on offlane Lycan. You get that Necro 3, you get the Ags, you bite your carry, that's it. Like, you can't really accomplish way more besides running down supports. But Enigma was very questionable.
Yep, I would have to agree. Although, again, for me, I think the biggest question mark is, because I know how good they can be, if they play really well, it's just Poyoyo has not shown to me yet that he can play at a tier 1 Dota level, you know.
You know what I've noticed so far from Black? If he's flaming anyone on the team, it's always the carry.
It's always
I'm very critical, dude. I'm very critical of the carries,
Are you very critical, or maybe you have some hidden agenda here, huh?
No.
Like,
I'm very critical because, like, I know very well what they should be doing. It's. I'm not saying that I would be doing it better. You know,
You're definitely not flaming them and then coming off stream immediately messaging the organization, going, "Hey
not.
guys, you know."
He's definitely not like that.
I'm a direct guy. You know, like if I wanted to call them out, I'll do it on stream. I'll be like, "Yo, VG, hit me up, bro." You know, and then they would just message me like, we got this carry slot free next season." I'm like, okay. Maybe I'll have to think about it.
Talk to my people
because my schedule is very busy.
Are you one of those reads your messages and then leaves you hanging for like a couple of days? Let it marinate. Is that it?
It's like red by Black at 12 p.m. and then like maybe at 9 p.m. I'm like, yeah, okay, now I can answer. Now he's ready, you know.
Okay, at least it's the same day.
Yeah. Sometimes.
But let us talk now about Ehome. Our guys over on the side of Ehome, they've been, you know, as I said, volatile. They have the stability potential with their supports and with Chalice and everything, you know, these experienced players. And then they've got XM, who's this very exciting mid laner, and along with Ajit, who we know is a very experienced SEA player coming into this region. Struggling to fit in a little bit with this team, but we know the potential is there. But I actually want to talk about XM a little bit more. Do you think this guy is one of the big mids in the region?
I mean, he did super well like 1.5 months ago. But recently he's had a very questionable place and item build, so it just looks like he isn't very comfortable right now. Maybe he's lost some of that confidence, you know, because he's not looking like the guy that he was 1.5 months ago. The guy, you know, that was top 1 in China, really confident, really dominant in his lane. Then he does the right decisions throughout the game, carrying his team. It's not the same guy right now.
Why do you think that is?
He is slightly new, right? And because of that, many analysts, if you heard them talk, don't value him as highly as someone like Chemo, let's say. But if the new patch hits and you're still stuck in the old one with the old heroes that were being picked and the old ones that managed, that allowed you to get that rank 1, suddenly you can find yourself a little bit out of place. I've seen it so many times in which you have players that have a hero pool of 5 heroes, and when the patch changes, it takes them a little bit of time to get back into it, to practice new 5 that are more popular.
So there's that readjustment phase. Well, talking about 5s, we're actually going to have a look at our 2 5s on each of these teams, which is DY and Xnova, and have a look at their head-to-head stats. There's some interesting things here as well, as we see DY favoring to get involved a little bit more, slightly high kill participation, but somehow Xnova, you know, he's much more of the team fighter, doing more hero damage, and then also tower damage for 5s is, I guess, kind of just an indicator of how much they play Shaman, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't...
Or Abaddon.
It's very difficult. Like when you look at these two comparisons, and when you think about the heroes that they play, it's very difficult to compare them, right? Because on one side you have this Xnova that plays Oracle, Abaddon, Oracle, Abaddon, Abaddon, Oracle, right? And on the other hand, you can see some Brew, you can see some Phoenix. These heroes obviously will have more impact when you look at stats like these. But if you add on healing, maybe targets saved, stuns cleaned, you know, the spells.
It gives a nice kind of snapshot of their playstyle, I think, especially when it comes to wards placed, where we see Xnova placing many more wards,
which is weird
on average. I don't think it's strange because
considering his heroes though, Oracle, Abaddon, they don't really have mobility, you know.
True,
like they have to like walk in and place the ward down, hope they don't get seen. maybe, you know, I would like to have the post 4 with more mobility. Maybe even one of the core heroes plays it instead. Because I did see that Ehome's vision is usually very good, but oftentimes it gets dewarded quite easily because, of course, Xnova does not have a hero to place wards with in deep, you know, and get away with it.
Yeah, he kind of knows the strategy side. Like, his warding is, you know, studied by a lot of the Chinese players. You know, the tier 1 teams have said in interviews that they study Xnova's warding and where he likes to vision to get an idea of the game. And
that's just a game on its own. Like, when you're position 5 and when you're warding, it's literally... you have this mini game that you're playing versus other supports, and there's a whole meta, literally, involved when it comes to warding, in which there's one player that figures out a neat ward, plants it there, then in a week everyone is doing that ward, then it gets dewarded. Because of that, you have to switch it up, plant it somewhere else. It's just a mini game.
You got to be creative. You got to keep it interesting, and you got to keep them guessing. Well, we do have the draft just about around the corner, and what I want to ask you guys is that I think with XM, as you mentioned, he hasn't seemed like his former self. He seems almost reserved in this tournament. How do you think they can enable him on Ehome? What kind of, you know, do you think there's a way they can draft to favor him, maybe setting up for him to have a really good game on someone like we see Boom doing with Makoto, for example?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, really all it takes is just one like really good game, you know, where you completely dominate the enemy, and then you're going to be starting to feel yourself again. You're probably back in the groove, and I would definitely love it if they somewhat try to set it up, you know, give him like a free puck game or a free storm game, just make him feel himself, you know, because down the line you're gonna need his like top performance every game, you know, like you can't get away with.
You remember the last series versus Aster, they lost to that crazy Baboka Shaker that just won the game single-handedly for Aster, and now they just insta-pick it, and it gets countered a little bit. You pick that Shaker into the Clockwork. Actually, Clockwork obviously was picked after, but Shaker was picked very early on, so it can be a little rough for him.
Counted a little bit. I would say Bat and Clock, two of the best heroes against Shaker probably.
Yep.
He's not going to have a fun game at all. Not in the lane.
You just like to say a little bit, you know. You don't want to brood and gloom. Just a little bit.
I don't like those half measures on this panel. I want you guys to go all out. Like, keep it up, buddy. Lizard, do better.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
No, so the thing is, yeah, if Clockwork gets on top of Shaker, he can definitely do a lot. Obviously, you can scout him out with those rockets as well. But Shaker, at some point, can have more impact in the team fights themselves, right? Like later on when he gets that blink, when he gets that shard, suddenly it doesn't matter because he is always in the backlines hiding, has that Aether Lens build now, we've seen a lot. So.
And if you're on the fissure, while cocked, you can just walk out of it. Great mechanic. Great interaction.
Bye.
Why can he suddenly start walking on fissures?
Dude, that shard just gives so much. Like, it's like, okay, like, I like that it gives aftershock down the whole thing. Very nice. And it's like, oh, and by the way, you can also walk down it as well. Oh, okay.
I like it.
Necessary?
I'm a Shaker player. I like that.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
How many players were actually inspired by Baboka after that game and started picking Shaker? I know Lacoste, I know myself. There's definitely a lot of them in the chat as well.
It never works out like the way he did it.
Oh, of course,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Aether Lens blink minute 25. They're like, give me some farm, guys. I need my Octarine core.
As long as you're inspired, you know, that's what matters. There's too many players. They just play whatever. They don't really have a plan.
I mean, I saw Lacoste just ult like a 3-stack because he wanted more money. So
okay.
I don't know how inspired he was.
Probably he was inspired to throw games. Maybe he was watching my stream a bit.
To be fair, he baited an enemy there too, so it was a pretty sick play.
All right.
Yeah, and Lacoste is actually a god. He's just waiting for his comeback in the pro scene. Just wait for it.
It's happening.
It's happening.
He's biding his time.
Yeah.
Conserving his energy through all these years.
He is an ancient, literally. I mean, like not rank-wise, but you know, age-wise.
I was gonna say, I thought I was the only ancient
Dota
here.
ancients,
No. He's actually a pretty high immortal player, I believe. Just like Lizard, of course. That's why he's here. Expert opinion.
Thank you very much, Black.
Of course.
And you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate your kindness.
Okay, guys. Sell down.
Also very strong at the gym as well.
Oh, thank you.
All right, there's a lot of back rubbing going on. Let's get back into this draft. Any interesting bans we see here? Obviously.
Not really. Pretty standard Morphling ban because Morphling Shaker. Also the Morphling Undying PL ban. against the Bad Rider clock. They can't deal with PL at all.
Yeah.
And
Very
of course,
annoying
we've seen
hero.
Ehome had success with that PL before, one of our just comfort heroes. But so far, seems pretty draft/team specific. That Draw Ranger also doesn't strike me as amazing, but VG does have a history of playing that hero.
Yeah, Ehome as well. Like they're the ones that play draw the most, I believe, recently. So it's interesting that they ban it out a couple of times. They've drafted that, but usually it's like some combinations with Mars and whatnot.
Yeah, Poyo did play it, I believe, once as well. So
Yeah, it was their like super comeback against LBCS, I believe.
I'm just looking at like Clockwork and Batrider and what they're banning out. So far, only PL that actually matters for the Batrider, right? Like they didn't ban out any of these Storms or Co-ops that can be laned against him on mid lane, and that I would like Ehome to pick up. Just get that Storm, get the Co-op, one of these two.
Again, I would love a 4th pick Storm for Ehome, probably. It looks pretty free right now.
It's a great Storm game
Only thing
already.
they have is a
It's really
lasso.
good.
Yep, the Morphling ban obviously something that would be really strong with the Shaker, with the Undying.
Yeah.
is Hookshot any good against Storm?
No, not necessarily.
I mean, you can hook him mid-ball lightning, and then you follow him. pretty cool mechanic.
As we always see when we're playing Clock versus
of course.
Storm, you know, just
it's the easiest thing.
Oh yeah. It's child's play, really.
It's happened to me a couple of times, but it's not what you want, right? Like you want to hook him and then clock him back. So overall, it's not bad form of disable. It's just very difficult to find Storm with that hookshot and then actually buy enough time for your team before he just zips out.
Yeah, it's a bit slow. It's a bit of cast time on the hook shot, and then obviously you can't keep him locked down afterwards. Maybe
Tide
Arcane
Hunter.
Blink's what you need. Arcane
Tide
Blink hook shot.
Hunter. Okay, this is so they did play Lycan on Vici Gaming, right? So if you snatch that Tide this early on, it can help you. But Ursa is still in the pool. This could be Vici Gaming snatching Ursa right now.
But then Storm is even freer.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you get that last pick to work against him, I guess, to pick the hero that could lane versus Storm.
Again, I'm a big tight middle. Bad Rider cannot be the tight middle, because the Kraken Shell will always dispel the Napalm before it can actually die. You know, you get to like half health, suddenly you take 0 damage. I feel like a lot more teams should start flexing a Titan in the middle. He's actually a really amazing mid laner if you know how to play it.
I think it's not truly about knowing how to play it. Tide Hunter, like the hero plays itself, right?
I mean, you need to know, you know, like good like item builds and stuff is the biggest problem with the hero. A lot of people don't buy Blink when you have to, and they buy it when you don't have to buy it, which I think is the biggest mistake I've seen on a hero.
Yep.
But yes, of course, mid lane, you just tank creeps, you anchor smash.
Yeah,
it's not the hardest
if
thing.
you're mid lane, probably what you want is some damage, right? Like you want to be that right clicker. But to be that right clicker, usually you need some enable, some hero that is going to allow you to chase or to get on top of targets. So if you remember OG, either with Wisp or with Darkseer, like with the Tide mid, and then you can
Juggernaut.
surge him back in. And
I would still love to see a Storm here.
yeah,
It's a super free Storm game.
So why did they go for the Juggernaut over the Ursa?
preference.
Preference probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both doing the same thing pretty much, but they don't have any BKB disable, so he can just spin TP whenever he wants to.
Okay.
Right now, at least.
Yep.
And the lane against Tide is pretty easy. Of course, you counter the Tombstone, you just spin it and kill it.
Yeah, but Ehome, they can just take Troll or Ursa
Or
right
Ursa
now.
themselves,
And both of them look pretty damn good for Ehome.
Ursa is a little bit tough in lane until level 6, but after 6, Slark.
Slark, wow.
I mean,
We have seen the Slark last time, I wasn't impressed. Maybe this time he's gonna turn it up a notch, you know?
Hopefully.
so the lane stage itself, he's playing versus Clock +1. He doesn't even know who he is playing into.
Yeah.
Bad
They might
Rider-
expect, like...
you can't
Bad
expect
Rider.
bad so
I mean, they
far,
could
right?
put Slark middle, potentially. If they wanted to. It's a pretty
Yeah, that
damn
could be
easy
an
lane.
option.
I've seen that so many times, and I've seen it backfire just as many.
Yeah.
Like you put
yeah.
Slark mid, Bat goes mid. Bat farms, Slark farms. Suddenly, Bat Rider is all over the map creating space. Meanwhile, you have a carry on your position 2 that can't play make at all, right?
Yeah, so
So
Slark
if-
middle is hard to execute for sure.
So if you do that, you need a playmaker on the safe lane that is going to be able to rotate from that safe lane very early on and make stuff happen. That's the only way I see Slark mid working. Quap banned out. Yeah, they still think Slark is scary. They're banning out heroes that are decent versus bad.
Okay, okay, they don't think he's going mid.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I would say about Vici Gaming is that I really hope that this last pick doesn't throw their entire draft into despair, because previously what we've seen from them is that they tend to get very smart with their drafts, and sometimes I think they go a bit too galaxy brain. You know, they enter the stratosphere, they exit, they leave Earth, and they go on this kind of crazy journey, and we end up with, like, you know, this Lycan offlane which didn't really hit the spot for us, and then things like this. I do hope that Vici Gaming give us something which we can see working, because if we can't, then that seems to be a trap they've fallen into a few times before.
Yeah, which is honestly what I think would be an amazing pick, and not very picked lately. Necrophos owns the entire lineup of Ehome.
It would be pretty sick.
Yeah, or something like a wind, something that can just pressure the Slark, you know. But Necro, I think, covers all the weaknesses they have right now. They don't really have a frontliner. They have good initiation already, but they really need that tank in front, which Necro would be doing. We have to see the last pick too, of course. Still think Storm is amazing.
That profit.
That profit, all right.
Ehome,
Okay,
keeping
still
it simple.
It's the third hero after Quap and Storm when you think about laning matchups versus Batrider. It can go well.
It's a bit tough though. Like if you get lassoed, you don't really have any counterplay, and it's quite easy to get lassoed on DP.
Do you think they've kind of overcompensated for this Batrider pick? What do you think?
I mean, the lanes don't look super strong. As I said, if they pick something like a Necro now, I actually just think they're gonna crush 2 lanes, and Batrider is just gonna farm, get Travel's Blink eventually, and
I just want to be the one that says, old 11, give him something standard, you know, just a normal. Necro, I don't mind. Just don't flex it too much.
yeah.
You don't need to. Their draft right now looks pretty solid on the side of Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
Just don't pick something that's already countered by the Slark. Lashrock.
Less
So it's a
right.
better
Okay, it's
offlane
kinda-
then or what? Or do they do Lashrock
Do
offlane?
they do Lash off, I think, right? Is it?
I don't know his name. Is that is that old 11 or is that Ori?
That's Ori, I believe.
Ori
Yeah,
Lash,
that's
so it's
Ori.
offlane Batrider.
Yeah, Batrider
Into the
offlane.
Slark.
All
Wow.
right. Wow. All right, old 11 flexing, saying, I don't care about no Slark. I'm going to pick it anyway. And he goes into that lane with a somewhat gung-ho attitude. Hopefully he comes out with the goods, but, you know, there is no good lane for this Batrider. That is the way in which Ehome have drafted. So, guys, let me hear your final thoughts on the draft and then a prediction, please.
Yeah, I'm not completely sold on the Slark pick, but at the same time, I hate that Vici Gaming is flexing a little bit too hard once again and putting this Batrider on the offlane.
It's the trap I warned them about and you warned them about. But they are down
I'm gonna
again.
go VG.
Okay, VG for black, and why, just very briefly?
I think Lashrock matches up really well into Slark and
Yeah.
Tidehunter. Even Undying and Shaker don't really do much to him. He's gonna go this Eternal Shroud Bloodstone build. He's gonna be pretty much unkillable, I believe, if he reaches that stage. They have a healing ward to back him up as well, Supernova. Looks like a pretty good draft.
Yeah, you can't really deal with the egg. You have Clock to help you out. You have Batrider as well for that. The Slark, I'm just not sold by the pick overall. Slark, I haven't seen being successful in this tournament at all.
The
Vici
only time
Gaming.
I think, Vici for Lizard as well. And Vici for me also. I mean, I think the only time we see Slark really working is when he's not really countered and he doesn't really have much damage on him when he's in his ulti, and he can kind of kick off in the team fights. That's not going to be the case this game, so I'm going for Vici as well. And let's hear from our casters. We've got Bcop and Lacoste, guys. Very quickly, what are your thoughts on this game and your predictions?
I love seeing Slark lose the game. It's a tough matchup playing into Lashrak. I think we're going to see much more of a Lashrak as a hero. Feels really good in this patch. It's just teams pretty much didn't adapt him as, you know, current top pick in the meta.
Alrighty, so that's a vote for Vici.
Vici
Bcop very
Gaming.
quickly as the game is now live. What is your prediction?
Game is live, so I'll explain it quickly. I used Tyromancy, which is divination through cheese. I wrote 2 names on a piece of cheese, and then the first one to mold is the one I chose, which was Ehome.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, let's get into it then. Game number 1 between Ehome and Vici Gaming. Take it away.
Thanks, Nomad. Yeah, game number 1, Vici Ehome, big meaning for this series. Like I was saying yesterday, every time we get closer and closer to the midway point, it feels like each series is becoming more and more crucial, and we're seeing these teams that are sitting middle of the pack ready to go up against each other. Maybe we were thinking before this whole thing started that Vici would be towards the top and Ehome would be more middle of the pack, and maybe this wouldn't have as much of an outcome meaning for them. But now both sitting towards the middle, winning this series could be the difference maker in making it to the major in some way.
Vici Gaming needs to win this series. They won against Magma and LBZS, which are considered to be the bottom of the tier in this region. So they need to, you know, step it up, win against some of the big teams. And I think they have a really good draft here. Batrider into Slark doesn't seem that good. If we're talking about the mid lane, off lane against the safe lane, Batrider does much better, I would say. Where, like, you pressure him at the early levels, you also have ways to kill him with the cogs, with the battery assault. Someone gets caught out of the position. Like, you think about Slark, yeah, he's just gonna pounce away, you know, use Dark Pact, remove that stick in a palm charges. Early levels, it's not that easy. You know, Dark Pact level 1 is 9-second cooldown, Pounce is 20 seconds, so you need to be very careful how you use your abilities.
So you're saying it could still be an aggressive lane from the Batrider early on?
For sure. Like, Batrider puts pressure on the Slark early on. We see another disconnect coming out from Slark. He's like, I do not want to play into this matchup. I don't like last track.
You just give up that easily? Pre-horn, just disconnect, walk away. Step
I was
off
just
the land
thinking, you know,
stage.
I need to think about my item build. It's very tough for Slark, because Lashrak is the best hero in the game that has both magical and physical damage coming out from his spells.
Right.
And you have AoE, so Slark ulti is not going to be that great. Tidehunter doesn't like to play into Lashrak. Undying doesn't do much. So it looks like a really, really good Lashrak game. They also have Healing Ward, they have Sunray, so a lot of sustain coming out from these two heroes as well on top of that.
How much of Ehome's game relies on Fate, getting like an early Blink Dagger, working on his items, and getting probably a bit more farm than a 4 should early on in the game?
We've seen Earthshakers, when they skip mana boots, that Blink Dagger is ready, let's say, between 11-15 minutes, depending how many bounties you pick up, how many assists you have. A Shaker doesn't die that much early on compared to some other position 4s, because he has a defensive tools, he has stuns, he doesn't go in that much. He's more of a, like, I'm going to keep my distance and use a Fissure. Also starts with the Boots of Speed, pretty standard build on the Shakers. So for a few minutes, you have an ability to just outrun the opponents. Fissure
Yeah, if he's
block.
got those boots early,
You don't need to buy boots
theoretically-
later, yeah.
well, yeah, and then you can just work straight on the Blink from here on out. You know, if you're skipping the mana boots, right?
Exactly.
Like you were saying, Earthshaker is one of those heroes. You don't really jump in early or fissure from a distance. You can really get everything done that you need to, because if you're moving over mid, you're probably just throwing a fissure out there. So XM can use Spirit Siphon, Crypt Swarm, and try to get a kill over mid. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fade make a couple rotations over mid. Honestly, I like Ehome's 4-minute mid-party matchup more than Vici's.
That Shaker brings so much. Like, you got one good Fissure block on a mid lane, plus a Spirit Siphon. Should be a kill. I like what Fade did. He used the Fissure to block off the creep wave. Now the creep is very close to tower, so Chalice can get some CS, get some experience on top of that, and he also body blocked the small camp, so DY cannot pull that.
Speaking of Chalice, he's one of the guys on Ehome that, to me, I feel like is underperforming. You know, when he was playing with LGD, he always felt like the anchor for them, making
No puns intended. Now that he's playing a Tidehunter,
Yeah, no puns
being
intended.
an anchor, okay.
Not trying to sink any ships here, but you know, Chalice always felt like the point of contention when teams were going up against him. Like, he was always stable in his lane, similar to the way Faith Beyond is. That the two of them are always stable in their lane, always getting farm, always making something happen. But here, so far for Ehome, we haven't exactly seen the same thing.
A bit underperforming, I would agree. Still feels like, compared to, let's say, Ori,
Ooh, Erica? Getting really low here. One more shot, and there it is, coming through from Fade. They'll get the kill onto this Jug. Look over at DY, who doesn't have Icarus Dive. So looking like it could be a second.
Fisher.
But they're unwilling to go
Double.
under the tower.
Even
Just
using
got
a
the salve
salve. So Phoenix won't be able to come, to a fight Fiery Spirits. Let's see. Okay, so he bought a salve. Juggernaut, like a good bro, actually took it with himself after respawning, so Phoenix will be able to put some more pressure on the lane. Good start for Earthshaker, however.
Yeah, helping your support out when he's stuck.
Oh man, mid lane is getting dismantled. 17-5 against 9-3. So yeah, I was talking about trying to compare Chalice to Ori, where Ori doesn't feel as comfortable as he did in the past. Like, he was a beast. Now, Ori just doesn't feel like he's playing 100%.
Yeah, we usually see him take over the game. In the past, it's been Vici kind of playing behind Ori quite a bit. Seeing him on heroes like Storm and TA, where he takes over the game, and it opens up the map all over for Vici, but we're not really seeing that much here. We've seen him lose a significant amount of matchups where, for a long time, Ori felt like one of the most stable mids.
He's really struggling this game. I believe that's his bottle coming. Yeah, 4-minute rotation. Let's see who decides to pick it up.
Now
Double
looking over
damage.
as it's
Fade
double
will
damage
get
for
it.
Fade. Chalice getting harassed bottom while there are no supports in that lane. So just the Bleed Fury pushing him back. He doesn't have anything to heal up with except for that Fairy Fire. We'll see if he goes boots, but for right now it looks like he's holding on to the gold to get that bottle. We've been seeing a lot of that in these two regions that we've been covering, both SEA and China. Off-lane bottles seem to be the big thing. A big change from what we were seeing previously. Totem and a right click onto Erica. Fade immediately dashing back with an anchor smash from Chalice, and he has bought that bottle, so that'll get delivered on the courier. And ooh, courier going down. X-Nova fighting PYW's courier. PYW will then find X-Nova. Well, battery assault and the cogs around this Undying, but Undying should be fine. That being said, I'm not sure
he
the
dropped the
Clockwork's going
Tombstone.
to be fine. Tombstone used, but the Leshrac, that's not great from X-Nova. You're giving free gold to the Leshrac in a matchup he's struggling in.
That's free 150 gold for Lesh. Not sure why he decided to go for it. Don't think there's any kill opportunity, but, in Dota, sometimes you have to say it is what it is and move on.
And that bumps Leshrac up from a devastating laning phase to something more salvageable for sure, that he's got boots available now. PYW, Fissure comes in, he's got the cogs, that should keep the rest of Ehome away. It's Nova and XM just looking over to try and get a kill onto this Clockwork, but not finding anything at that point.
Oh, yeah, you can see Batrider doing really good on the top lane. Even matchup against the Slark. So, yeah, a bit later, Slark starts doing okay. He gets level 6, so you don't care too much about, his sticking up palm charges mid lane.
Yeah, they'll use that Spirit Siphon. They'll get the Exorcism off. They're trying to make something happen. Icarus dive away from DY. This is what we usually see from Death Prophets, is that early Exorcism to try and make something happen. But it is very tough when you've got heavy rotations coming out from Vici. But a good Fissure from Fade. That keeps Ori in a bad spot. However, XM, he's diving into this again, already at about half health when he makes the dive. Fairy Fire pops, and XM's life is gone. They've rotated over 4 heroes for this. They'll look over at X-Nova. Great Flame Break to push him back. They still have the Sunray and the Firefly to work with. That's a lot of fire right on top of you as, X-Nova, he's the second one to die in a double kill there for the Phoenix.
What looked like a good Fissure was actually a setup diving into Leshrac. Leshrac also didn't have too much mana there, but still enough once you have that Edict going on. And, yeah, also this frames per second allowing me to analyze the game better because I can see everything slow-mo.
I kind of wish I could play every game like this. Because then I could probably be mechanically better at this game.
You'd have so much more time to react. Like you see Sven stun flying, you're like, yeah, I can dodge this. I have 5 seconds to manta dodge.
So that's what I'm wondering. Like when the Flash, he's able to move at super speed. If he were to play video games, can he move so fast that time around him slows down and he would just be the best gamer ever?
I never thought of it. Never thought about it.
Flash would
Never
win TI.
will. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, maybe just this moment. You'll think about it.
I'll give it a thought. We'll let you know what I think about it. So yeah, 3 kills only, 8 minutes in. I want to see Shaker's item. Okay, going straight into Blink Dagger. I like that a bit more than getting the mana boots. It's almost half of the price of a Blink Dagger. He also got the first blood, so he's going to be there eventually. I just don't want to see like Tidehunter getting a second Blink Dagger. He needs to tank up instead, because you do not want to invest gold, like 4,000 plus gold into 2 Blink Daggers.
Ooh, Fissure on DY, of course, has that Icarus dive. They brought over 4 heroes. They have Exorcism available. They want to go and take a tower again with this, but they weren't successful on the mid-tier 1. This time they're looking for more success.
I don't think you fight into this. There's Exorcism, Ravage, Tombstone. Very hard to fight into Fissure, so Vici Gaming should try to find something else on the map. There it is, Leshrac, 4 points in Edict on a mid lane. Slark getting caught.
Yeah, around him are some cogs, and Ajit needs to be careful. But with that rotation in the TPM from Chalice, they've actually held on to the tier 1 tower, which could have been easily taken if they had focused solely on the bottom tier 1.
Nice rotation. No, just to be able to defend your tier 1 tower. Next Edict. Tower should probably fall. There's no backdoor protection, so you can snipe it. All right.
Getting a kill
So
there
solo
on
kill.
Xnova.
He's not afraid to use the Omni Slash just to get a kill.
Sometimes we see Jugs look for the perfect moment. On top of that, he gets a Tombstone. Silence isn't going to hit. Erica goes into the Blade Fury and TP's
XM
out.
was trying to deny some of the creeps. I like how Juggernaut didn't TP straight away. Instead waited a bit to kill the whole creep wave with the spin. Slark with the Falcon Blade.
Yeah.
Not a big fan. You know, it sounds good on paper, where like you have mana regen, it gives you some damage, a bit of bit of HP, but I feel like you're missing a timing for your Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, it's not like he's running away with this game at the moment where he's like a 1,000 net worth ahead or anything. He's even with the Jug. He goes Falcon Blade. That slows down the Diffusal. Do you think if the game stays pretty quiet, it's okay? Or would you rather have a Slark?
You want to use
Have an early
Exorcism,
Diffusal.
you want to fight with the Ravage, get some advantage going on, get a fight so your Earthshaker can get some gold, get closer to the Blink Dagger. He's slowly farming. There's some stacks, but Earthshaker will not take those. Also, like, ideally, you would want to give Earthshaker the lane. I see Undying on the top. This is where Earthshaker should be, in my opinion. You know, just getting that free lane.
Yeah, Xnova's top, but Fade for the moment is trying to farm mid. Hook shot in onto the Slark. Ajit forced to use that ult.
Good body
DY
blocks.
and PYW are both here. Yeah, great body blocks from PYW. They've brought in ult 11. Supernova use. Ajit, he's got Pounce in a second. Flame Break, Dark Pack, and Pounce, but it leashes up this Bat Rider. And PYW finishes off the Slark. 3 heroes coming from Vici and no reaction from Ehome at all.
Tidehunter was out of mana, so he cannot TP. Maybe Earthshaker with a Fissure could help out a bit.
It's a tough situation with
It really
Slark
is.
so far from his team.
It's just overall a tough game for Slark, where he's playing into AoE. You have Spin, you have Leshrac, you have Bat Rider. So, yeah. Old 11. Make some really nice rotations across the map. Pan was talking how he's underperforming. With Old 11, you never know, like, which Old 11 is going to show up, if it's going to be a good day. You know, did he get his coffee or not? And then,
Ooh,
you know,
hook shot
sometimes
onto
he's just
XM.
godlike.
Into the Omni Slash.
That's a
and
good
nobody
Omni.
there to mitigate the damage. Perfect Omni. Takes out XM very quickly.
Clockwork is getting so much farm. Like, he's sitting at 21 CS, but just needs a recipe to finish off the Spirit Vessel, which is going to be great against the Dead Prophet, against the heal coming out from the Undying.
Yeah, really looking quite good, and a 2K lead right now for Vici overall. Chalice, he's got that hood. He hasn't gone into the Blink Dagger like you said. So we'll see when the Blink Dagger finally comes from Fade, but it feels like it's just delayed so much. We usually see it around the 13-minute mark. Looks like it'll be more a 15-minute Blink Dagger, potentially, depending on how the next few go. We'll see. Urn placed onto Fade. PYW and DY, they're just defending this tower as best they can. But finally, with the second Exorcism on this mid tower, they'll take it.
Sometimes her best is just not enough. Slark on the bottom lane. Going ham on Ori.
Pounce in 9, Fissures in, Dark Pact over. Ori, ooh, just surviving right now with 140 health. Aji trying to stay with him. Going to get that stun off. Pounce doesn't leash, but he still has a right click to throw at him. And he'll get his first kill of the game and pick up his first permanent agility. That pushes him closer and closer to the Diffusal Blade.
Every single time Exorcism is up, they should try to take a fight. We still have not seen Ravage being used.
Yeah, no Ravages yet, which is, you know, we're waiting for the big team fight from Ehome. Haven't quite seen it yet. It really hasn't set up that way, but Ehome haven't exactly forced it to be in a position like that. They've kind of let Vici be the aggressors for the majority of this game. So Chalice now, he is working on that Blink Dagger after picking up the hood. Got Blink finished in about 30 gold for Fade. He's working on picking up, you know, that Blink, and then we'll see probably a smoke from Ehome. Smoke into the potential Echo Ravage combo. A little bit of a combo there for the entire team, with Exorcism maybe running the entire time. Like, there's a lot of team fight from Ehome that might be tough for Vici to deal with.
I still feel like the Vici Gaming has a better scaling lineup with the Leshrac, Bat, Juggernaut. Juggernaut going straight into Mjolnir. That's interesting. Like, usually we just see a Maelstrom into like one defensive item, something like a Manta style possibly, to get rid of the silences, tank him up a bit, or SNY. SNY just doesn't sound too bad here. Status resist against the silences, against the Earthshaker feels really good.
So Fade here with his team, and Illusion coming over. Fade, I believe he's trying not to be spotted, so doesn't give away the fact that he's got himself this Blink, but they're going after Chalice. They've used the Omni Slash already. So Ehome not having to worry about that Omni Slash coming into this next fight, but still yet to engage. They'll find the Bat Rider. Aja moving in. PYW's nearby. They do have Lasso available. They don't have the hook shot.
Ehome can't find any openings. I think it's time to use the smoke. There's one on Undying, and there it is.
There it is, yeah.
Try to make stuff happen. You have a Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, Tidehunter just 100 gold away from his.
Yeah, he's farmed up this Blink Dagger pretty quickly. It felt like it was a slower game for Chalice, but he's found some openings. Exorcism gets used. They've got the Fissure now. Yule's up into the air. Old 11 trying to run away, but it's not looking likely as Ajik gets another kill, this time onto the Bat Rider. But there's the Mjolnir finish for this Jug.
That's going to be just a ton of damage coming out from Juggernaut's Omni Slash. It's sadly only level 1 Exorcism, and it was not a close kill to the Roshan. Usually when we see Dead Prophet getting a kill with level 2 Exorcism, easily turned into Roche. They have some minus armor coming out from the Tidehunter. Still no Ravage used, Echo Slam as well being held for a very long time. I think Vici Gaming just understands that they should not be taking the team fights right now, because it feels they're much weaker. Their pickoff game is very strong. Batrider getting close to his BKB. Like you have a clockwork hook shot. These heroes are very good at picking off other heroes, not that good at just straight up team fighting.
Yeah, they'll fight if they can find the advantage after a pickoff. Meanwhile, Old 11, like you said, he's almost got that BKB, then into the Blink Dagger afterwards, so they'll have that initiation with the Blink into the lasso. But right now they've got long range initiation with the Clockwork, so it's not one of those games where he desperately needs that mobility on the bat. Smoke bought by Fade, 5-man here from Ehome. Should be looking to get ready to smoke up and look for another fight. At least that's what it seems like. So, meanwhile, Vici coming from top over towards mid, and Ehome are the ones setting up. They do have this blink for the Tidehunter, so this could be a difficult fight for Vici if they are to fight into it. But again, like you said, they've been really good about just staying away and positioning themselves around the map where they don't have to fight in the Ehome.
It's a great understanding from Vici Gaming, you know, when they should fight, when they should not, and you can see the net worth increasing. They're wasting Ehome's time. Ehome wants to fight, Vici Gaming just says, no, we're just gonna dodge. Farm their BKBs, one on Leshrac, one on Batrider, get one more item on a Juggernaut, then they will be ready. Like with the 2 BKBs and the Blade Fury from Juggernaut, I think that's enough to be able to take a fight against those big team fighting abilities.
Alright, so we'll see when that clash eventually happens, as Ori's almost got this BKB. His game is not as big as we normally see from him. Again, when we think of Ori, or at least when I think of Ori, I think of someone who kind of takes over the map, runs around, and makes a bunch of space by getting these kills, but we haven't seen that quite yet. Lasso used onto the Tidehunter, as well as the Omni Slash. They'll throw the Fissure, hits on 2. They've got the Silence onto the jump.
Buyback from Chalice.
The owner armor, and
that's
now
a good
the Supernova is in a perfect spot. Ehome looking like they might need to disengage, but they get the kill on Erica. The egg goes off. Ravage is out. They look over at the Batrider. They'll take out Old 11, and they'll look for a third. DY trying to TP, but there's no chance with the Fissure behind him.
I think they need to run into Roche Pit. Exorcism still running for like 15-ish seconds. They don't want to do it? Okay, buyback expended on Chalice. Vici Gaming, like their execution, even though they lost 3 heroes, it feels like they're on point. You don't expect Batrider to just use Lasso on a Tidehunter and then there's a follow-up Juggernaut Omni Slash. So Ehome didn't get anything out of this. They get like 2k gold more than Vici Gaming, but that's pretty much it.
It looked like it was setting up really well for Vici. That egg was in pretty much a perfect spot because of the fact that Fate throws that Fissure, and it basically keeps them from being able to hit that egg. Plus, their attention the entire time was on the Jug, making sure that they killed Erica before he was able to get out of that.
Juggernaut's still squishy, easy to bring down, because he invested all the gold in Mjolnir, so no defensive tools. I see SNY and Scotty being built after, which I really like. Scotty against the Dead Prophet, against the Tide, works really well. Already talked about the status resistance, so just needs to tank up on the hero to be able to survive through any like initial bursts coming on from the either Ravage or Blink Echo.
And that build kind of reminds me of like God King's build. Go Sanjanyasha, finish the Scotty, and then dismantle this Sanjanyasha and go for that Manta Halberd, which was always interesting. He was doing that on like every game he played. Glimmer Cape finished for X-Nova.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Chalice got himself a Ghost Scepter. Okay. Interesting build from the Tide. Hoodblink Ghost Scepter. I feel like I was expecting something a little bit more team utility than just the Ghost Scepter.
After getting killed like that in the previous fight, he decides to get a Ghost Scepter to protect against the Omni Slash. Other possibility could be get the medallion into Solar Crest, so you can use it on your teammates as well.
Shaker was looking to go for that Aether Lens, but now going towards the Shard, I was questioning that as well, because just because we've been seeing the Shard be such a standard item, and its power is so strong. Like the Aether Lens normally, from what we've been seeing from Earthshakers, comes after the Shard, gets built in, you know, to Octarine Core, so...
Shards is a must-have on Earthshaker. That Shard actually gives you everything. Lower cooldown on Fissure, you can walk over the Fissure for some reason. And yeah, the stun, so you don't have to commit. Net Profit ulti, inside a bit. Seems like Vici Gaming is not aware of that. Okay, they are. My apologies. Radiant using a skin. So they know, like, there's not enough time. Roshan will go down.
To have somebody blocking against the Clockwork hookshot. Ravage used, BKB comes out. That's actually going to hit the Clockwork. They get the Aegis on Ajit, though. Use the lasso onto the Death Prophet as well as the Supernova.
Another
on the
good
high
egg.
ground. Pounce. He gets to the high ground, looks at the egg, but it doesn't look like he's going to have the damage or, well, the number of strikes needed to take the egg out. Hookshot hits on a Fade. They've got the Flame breaking out. Fade pushed back by the Cogs. Fissure out, but it's not going to help him. Ori gets the kill. 2 heroes gone on the side of Ehome. However, they do pick up the Aegis into the hands of Slark.
That Ravage was a bit premature. He felt them coming, but I believe it hit only one guy. Also another good egg by DY. And these two eggs were pretty much perfect. You can't really complain about it. Now Phoenix is level 2, so Supernova, I mean, they have a Supernova level 2.
But the stun, Ori! He's caught Ajit for a second, trying to get away with that ulti. 2 heroes in on this. And now PYW's come over. Chalice blinks forward. He doesn't have a Ravage to play with, but they have slowed down the clock. Hook shot away just as he was getting pounced.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Slark decided to go for the Aghanim Scepter to be able to get in and out of the fights. 2 charges on it.
I believe Jug also decided to skip the Sanjin Yash and go straight Scotty.
So it's going to be Scotty into Abyssal Blade, most likely. I would still love if he just skipped the full Mjolnir, like Maelstrom into SNY, into Scotty, into Mjolnir sounds much better. Having a status resistance and be more tanky against the lineup that Ehome has, just, for me, sounds a bit better.
What would you like to see from this Death Prophet going boots travel? What would you like after that?
Eon Disc. Eon Disc is just a busted item right now. It feels so good to have. I've seen it across the Southeast Asia region being picked. Usually it was like 5th, 6th item.
Yeah.
Now with some buffs and how the meta has changed, I feel you can just buy it as a 3rd item on most of the cores. Especially when they have this instant initiation coming out from the Batrider. It just feels like a really good item.
Would you have preferred it before the boots travel?
Boots of Travel is fine. You know, she's gonna still get things out of the map considering how Vici Gaming is playing. Splitting the map, trying to avoid big team fights, getting a pick off. Okay, Lincoln Sphere queued up. That also works, like the other way to protect against the lasso. I also wouldn't mind seeing like a casual plate mail.
Yeah.
Against Edict, against the Juggernaut.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I was going to say, I think at times we've seen both on the Death Prophet. Both the Lincoln Sphere into like the Aeon Disc, just that double protection. Shards coming out for the Earthshaker. Blade Fury from Erica just the TP away. Ajit was showing. He's going into the Basher. He's still holding on to this Aegis. He's got just about 2 minutes to work with it. Game feels very close despite the net worth lead swinging more so in the favor of Vici by about 6K.
Vici Gaming is in no rush, especially since Slark is holding the Aegis right now.
Yeah. And that's the way they've been playing the game even without him holding the Aegis. So they're fine to continue that game plan, look for these next items. And, well, as we say that, they smoke up and they're going to try and make something happen. Scan's going to miss from Ehome over in their own jungle. That doesn't catch anybody from Vici who are smoked up here. But Ehome, they're backing away and they don't have a smoke of their own, but they are grouped up for the moment.
We still have not seen Echo Slam 27 minutes in.
Which is very surprising.
Maybe he wants to pick Earthshaker in game 2, then use multiple Echo Slams, just stacking it right now. It's a possibility.
Pounce down to the low ground. Ajit now away from his team. He'll spot Erica. Thinking about going to the fissure. Look at Old 11's positioning. He's looking ready to jump on somebody, but there's the
good
Ravage.
Ravage.
Comes in, and Jug gets caught. Hook shot in onto the Earthshaker, who's already been hit with that lasso. They've got the cogs down, Flame Break pushing these heroes away. The Supernova goes off. They look over the Slark. Ajit in trouble. The Aegis has been popped. They already got the kill on a Chalice. They'll take out Fate. It's going to be 2 dead on the side of Ehome. Up in the air is this Death Prophet coming back down to Earth and really not enjoying her time because now Death Prophet is dead. X-Nova trying to hide, but they've got the sentry down, and he'll be killed off. 4 heroes dead on the side of Ehome. Vici come out victorious by quite a margin. It looked like the Ravage was good, but again, DY has been perfect with these Supernovas.
Man, DY has been exceptional this game. I don't think you can ask for a better Ravage. Like, it's pretty much a perfect one where Juggernaut gets caught when he gets out of the spin instantly, but still there's no follow-up. Still no Echo Slam. We can give credit to PYW, who's controlling the Earthshaker nicely. The Rocket, he scouts him out. Spirit Vessel, can't blink. So Ehome needs to have some smokes ready for the next fight. Use it on the Earthshaker to be able to get that Echo.
And there was never a point where it felt like Fate could get that Echo off, missing both these pounces.
Just pouncing in and out, not hitting anything.
Yeah, I don't know if the viewers at home saw in that replay there, but Fade ended up getting lassoed and left on the cogs, which pushed him away. Ooh, this might look set up to be a good Echo Slam. They've got the fissure, they've got the totems, and they've used the Echo. The Echo is actually off
just
to the back just to continue to use that shard and control both Erica and PYW. So it's not the big Echo Slam right on top of them, but it did its job.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to, you know, slam people because of the new shard. You can just fissure, totem, Echo Slam, just keep them locked in a place and possibly use one totem after that.
And it worked out. Some galaxy brain thinking there from Fade.
This is why I would love to see SNY. Some status resistance messes up Earthshaker's combo. Like, he can't fissure totem because you will get out because of the status resistance.
Bounties. A lot, all 4 of them, I believe, going to Ehome.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Still 5k gold lead for Vici Gaming.
Ajit has picked up the BKB. He's going into the Basher. He was originally looking for that Basher, skips over that for a second, now doubling back forward after picking up the BKB, which seems like he'll need in these team fights. And then Jug, yeah, he's looking for a Blink and a BKB.
Interesting build. I see a lot of carries these days picking up a Blink Dagger, which is fine because now you can upgrade the Blink Dagger. Before, you did not want to buy a Blink Dagger on your carries most of the time because it just felt like a waste of a slot.
Does it feel like a waste of a slot now? Or just
not anymore.
Less so?
No, now feels really good to have a Blink Dagger because like you can always upgrade it to whatever you feel like it's the best. Here, Swift Blink, of course, on Jug. A lot of value.
Yeah.
Attack speed with the Omni Slash. So now Slark has a BKB for himself. Any big items coming out from Ehome? Yeah. Death Prophet in the end decides to go for that Eon Disc that I mentioned. Like, Malikan Sphere is very costly, and like Eon Disc gives you an opportunity to just be able to use your abilities, pop your BKB after getting caught by lasso.
Old 11 inside the trees. Everything ready for both sides. Fissure's gonna miss though. Old 11, he's able to blink away, but they've got the totem. That stops Old 11 for a second. Chalice just making an escape with his own blink. Flame Break.
He'll just get whatever he can.
It's a lasso though on the Undying. Maybe Ehome could take advantage on this. They've got the silence onto the Phoenix. No Supernova this time. They've got
no
the
buyback.
lockdown. DY gone, pounce over, hits PYW, who's got a BKB of his own. The Ravage is out, and it hits.
There's the Echo
Slam. It's right onto Vici, but it hasn't done enough. PYW getting low, Aji trying to run, and so is the rest of Ehome. Chalice just gets away with the Ghost Scepter and the TP. XM, his Aeon Disc gets popped. He's used that Exorcism. He's trying to run from Ori Old 11, and now Erica chasing. Flamebreak pushes him over to the left. Slark got out. Well, really, he just got ignored. They'll go after XM, they'll get the kill, and now it's just Ajit around. However, he won't be able to make anything happen. It looked like everything again was there for Ehome. The Ravage, the Echo Slam, Exorcism going the whole time, but Vici, they play it well enough where they come out on top.
Good jump by Earthshaker, still not enough. There's a healing ward healing them. They took out the Phoenix, which is pretty much the target you want to take out first. Oxjit in Invis, waiting for someone to come to the bottom lane. They know there's no BKBs yet.
They'll go for Ori. Right click's coming in. Pulse Nova trying to make something happen. There's another pounce. Yules, Dark Pack, and the kill. It's the Soul Rip from X Nova, and now Omni Slash mitigating through heroes here. Soul Rip again, hook shot in, but there's the fissure. They've got the totem. They're stunning up these heroes with the BKB being popped by PYW. Clockwork surviving way longer than it feels like a 5 should. Or a 4 should at this point.
Lasso in 10.
Nova finally goes down. They've got the Sun Ray. Chalice burning a little bit down to 70 health. He'll survive. Faith throws a right click at PYW with the totem, but still he survives. They look over at Old 11. They've got the Supernova. They look at Ajit. They've got the lasso. They can't get the egg, and it's looking like Stark is dead to rights, and he is. XM comes in. The fissure lands on a 2. They've got the totem to follow it up, as well as the silence from the Death Prophet.
Yule Scepter, but they can't see her.
But they cannot get the Yules onto this Phoenix.
Oh, I feel Juggernaut could actually stay, because Clockwork was doing some amazing work, you know, just trying to reset his cooldown on a Blade Fury so he can get out. And then Batrider shows up, plus a Phoenix, so that's sustained, that's damage. Lasso cooldown was once again ready. Man, 11 having a really, really good game this time. Finds regeneration, now with the Aghanim Scepter, allows him to get 2 targets.
I like the double lasso. It only shows his one lasso connected to another, but in my mind, I think he's swirling 2 lassos.
Yeah, it's just one lasso, B-Cup.
Okay. I could dream. Ooh, Dust, Fissure, and the Silence coming out from the Death Prophet. Old 11 can only just watch. They tried to throw the healing word to help out DY as best they can. They do have buyback on the Phoenix, but Supernova down basically
Roche
the entire
is
time
available
he's dead.
if they want to run in. Death Prophet, Exorcism is available. Level 3, so that's 24 ghosts. It's being pinged out. Buyback available on Phoenix. If they scout it out with the rocket, Phoenix will buy back for sure.
Radiant's
Courier goes down, so they know they have vision of this. They use that rocket. You got to be aware of where PYW is. They're finally setting up there together. Hook shot, it misses. Ravage, though, as well as the Echo Slam, all committed to take out Erica. They look over at PYW. The BKB's been popped once again. Ajit sticking with him. They've got XM. He's popped his own BKB. Exorcism still rolling forward, and PYW's dead as well. Both these heroes don't have buyback. The victory prize at the bottom of the cereal box should be Roshan.
Cheese and Aegis. I like how Chalice is not hesitating at all. He's like, I'm blinking in, using my Ravage, don't care. Once again, we go back to Juggernaut's item build. Like, he decided to go for a BKB. If they get a good jump, you're not going to be able to pop that BKB. They'll just stun lock you. So status resistance, SNY. I feel like if he had that SNY, that he would live 2 times in a row because of it.
Yeah, it could have been setting up to be a different Jug game, but instead Erica 4-4-7, sitting behind the Slark. But we haven't really, well, you know, we talk about the Jug and his build. What about Ori right now? It's going into the Aeon Disc as well. You talked about how this is a strong item for the Death Prophet. I think the same could be said there for the Leshrac too. He's got just about 20,000 net worth. He's having quite the game at the moment. It's not as flashy as we normally see from Ori, but quietly I feel like he's top of the net worth.
Yeah, Ori silently farming, getting very close to his level 25. Let's see if there's any big items coming up and down. Clockwork, all right. This is not what I wanted to see, just for the memes though. Aghanim Shard on Clockwork queued up, so gives him a jetpack ability.
Also, Bat Rider got the shard too.
That's interesting. Maybe, you know, if they get a jump on, let's say, Juggernaut, he can actually save him. We've seen some abilities like that, getting a lot of value. Not just abilities, but also items. Wind Waker, we've seen it used to full potential a couple of times.
Disruptor's shard, I feel like we've seen used. Something that helps your allies out. Those shards that have that ability to make your heroes tougher or, you know, hurt more. I like them.
It's a 20-second cooldown when used on allies,
Yeah.
the Batrider shard, so could be okay-ish. If they get a good jump on a Juggernaut, could actually save him.
I like that this Falcon Blade is now just sitting in Ajit's backpack.
Yeah, you can't upgrade that item. That's big downside of the item.
Be on the lookout for the next patch when it does get an upgrade.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Hook shot misses, Fissure comes in, pounce, that's gonna miss, then he pounces back. BKB's been popped very early by Erica. So,
Well, this is the problem with
Vici.
BKB on Juggernaut, something we don't see that often, but you know, he needs to pop it straight away.
Radiant's middle
With the
tower
status
is
resistance,
under attack.
it's like you're waiting for them to get a jump on you, then you're like, man, we didn't stun him for long enough. You get the Blade Fury off, turn the whole fight around.
they're still pressuring, they're posturing, they've taken the
Radiant's
tier
middle
2.
tower has fallen.
2 minutes left in the Aegis, silence, that comes in as well.
Where's the
as
lasso?
Ravage.
There
They've
it
got
is.
the lasso for the save on the Leshrac, but the Echo Slam, he still lives through it. Supernova
Another
is
good
out.
egg.
They've got the hook shot coming in from PYW as well as the Flame Break pushing back Earthshaker and X-Nova. He's in a cot. Pounce over onto this PYW Clockwork. They get the kill on a one. He'll buy back immediately, but they've already taken out the Aegis with the Omni Slash bouncing around onto this Death Prophet. They've got the stun that hits onto Ajit. Dark Pack, Lotus Orb trying to run. There's the lasso onto XM.
That was such a great play, man. This Batrider shard pickup, I was like, where is it? Perfect timing, drags him back, and it's only 20-second cooldown when used on allies, so you can use it offensively like a couple of seconds after. So buyback from PYW, buyback from Fate to position 4's bought back.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
25 for the Leshrac.
Dire's middle tower
That's
has
that
fallen.
extra Diabolic Edict explosions. We'll take a look at the replay. Try to go about it better this time as Leshrac. Look at that.
And
Just
the Glamour
Echo.
Cape, yeah, just to keep him alive. 80% damage reduction is no joke.
Literally do nothing. Fade, he ends up dead. Cogs are around this Undying, and then Ajit, he pounces into the Cogs. He's in trouble. And once he loses that Aegis, it's just troublesome for the Slark who's trying to run. He gets away in the end, but XM dead without buyback, 90 seconds.
Is under attack.
So, still 15 seconds without the Death Prophet. Erica just leading the charge, trying to go through backdoor here. Finally, the creeps come in. Should be an easy tower to take.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And 14k lead from Vici. It's weird that it's a 14k lead considering Ehome felt like they were the ones making the charge, down by so much.
Cheese and Aegis were available. Juggernaut buying the tome for himself. Not sure it's needed. Like, he's gonna hit 25. That's a very greedy thing to do. Let's see if there's anyone that could buy that shard. I mean, Phoenix is level 20, so there's nothing to gain from that tome. Same goes for Clockwork. So, okay-ish. Would still hit level 25 nevertheless. Eon Disc on Leshrac. Just love the item right now.
Octarine coming through for Old 11.
Young 11, he's either the best or the worst player in the game. Pretty much it's always the same story with him.
Hook shot. X-Nova drops a tombstone on the high ground. Decent spot to put it in. Old 11 looks for an opportunity. Supernova on the high ground with the lasso.
Double
He pulled
lasso.
The Death Prophet as well as the Sark. They got the stun to follow it up. They look over at Ajit. The egg pops and down goes Ajit. They lose the Sark. He does have buyback. BKB's been popped by XM trying to run. BKB TP. Supernova makes sure he doesn't get away. And it is 3 dead on Ehome.
Once again, 11 proving his worth, man. I just love his item build this game. Like, no shenanigans, boots of travel, into BKB, into Blink Dagger to get the initiation going, then picking up Ags and the Shard. Like, that Shard pretty much turned the whole fight, the previous fight around. Now with the Aghanim Scepter, a double lasso just feels really great. With the Octarine Core, it's much easier to execute. With the cast range, Edict level 25, extra damage. This just might be it. They get 2 more
Echo
kills.
Slam.
Echo, Ravage.
Ravage coming through, but now they've got the lasso. The double Ravage just does nothing. It really doesn't affect the side of Vici, who are still coming forward, still chasing Ehome and looking to finish the game.
Yeah, you used everything. You used everything. You've seen the lasso once again being used on defensive. Used on Juggernaut still, you know, I don't think they would be able to bring him down, but, you know, just shows how Dota has evolved and some of these new abilities, new upgrades, just fun to watch.
It is everything from Ehome just not getting it done. And now Vici are up towards top. Destroy mid, go towards top, Blink Dagger for the Slark. Hook shot used, and that's on X-Nova. They've got the Cogs. Chalice really doesn't have much to offer at the moment with no Ravage. X-Nova gone. He'll buy back immediately. Blade Fury pouncing back is Ajit. He needs to run the Aeon Discus pop. Yule's up into the air. Death Prophet now just trying to survive with this exorcism, and you see Ajit a little bit too scared, and rightfully so, continuing to pounce away. They've got the Supernova.
Aggressive egg.
It's aggressive, but they know that they cannot kill it.
It's just a zoning egg. They get close, try to kill the egg. There's gonna be some turnaround. This way, they don't even touch it. 3 set of barracks for them. There's still 1 set on the bottom and the tier 3 tower. Yeah, this game is looking pretty over. They have 1 more fight possibly. Tidehunter, 50 seconds for the Ravage, 60 for Refresher.
A Refresher, that double egg in that fight over in the dire jungle. Just both eggs landing perfectly. And the double lasso into a Supernova.
The they have double everything. Like double Phoenix Egg, double lasso. We're gonna see a Refresher on a Clockwork or just the Aghanim Scepter. It works like a Refresher as well. Double hook shot, pretty much double everything. Let's see that jetpack. I wanna see jetpack, fly over, scout things out, flying vision, Aeon Discus proc.
I want to see the finest creation. PYW, a Clockwork Shard. But still leading forward, looking to get megas. They've got the silence. Pounce misses again from Ajit, but they've got the fissure. Now line that up with a totem. Oh, hook shot in from PYW that hits on X-Nova. They've also got the silence. Lasso used. X-Nova gone. Doesn't have buyback this time. Dead for 90 seconds.
They need to reset. BKB used on Lesh, no Aeon Disc.
Jetpack flying away. Looks like he's swimming in the air. Ravage used. Supernova over to the side. They can't save Old 11. The BKB's been popped by PYW, but the fissure still blocks you out. Gems on the table. Supernova used. And now they'll use the pounce, but is he in a good enough position? Ajit,
Ravage available again if they want to take a fight.
Blade Fury doing a lot of damage. He's forced to pounce away. They've got the Ravage that hits on a 2XM coming in. He's got the Exorcism with the BKB being popping, and now the Omni Slash bounces over to the neutrals, but back over to the Death Prophet. They'll get the kill on the fade. They'll take out both the supports so far. Erica, though, surrounded and in trouble. Sunray isn't enough with the Blade Fury looking like it is. Ori's back into the fight. Here comes the Leshrac. XM, Ajit, as well as Chalice just cannot get it done at the moment. They finally take out DY, and Ori, he came back into this one, but he's in a bad spot.
BKB in 5, it's not going to be enough.
Him alone, they'll get the kill on Ori. XM looked like he was dead to rights, somehow survives it all. and ends up
Ehome understood, like, we need to take this fight. We proc the Eon Disc on Leshrac. BKB was used. Another good Ravage from Chalice. He caught Juggernaut multiple times this game after the Blade Fury, which is not that easy as it seems. You know, Blade Fury ends, he blinks in, uses the perfect Ravage. Yeah, Roche, let's see. The 3 couriers inside the pit, scouting things out. So it's Cheese, Refresher, and the Aegis, of course.
Take a look at this replay. It looked like Ajit was dead here. Blade Fury doing so much damage, forcing him out of the fight.
Didn't use Mjolnir for a very long time.
BKB, Omni Slash bounces over to the neutrals. Fade ends up dead, but they don't kill XM.
Hack Shard also proccing quite a lot. Blade Fury. Yeah, look at those chain lightnings.
Still feels like Ajit just can't stay in these fights. But the Ags is helping. Able to have those multiple pounces in and out. Bat Rider comes in, throws the lasso over to X Nova. Blink, Fissure coming through, hitting onto DY as well as the Totem. They've got the dust, they'll get the kill on X Nova. They'll
Roche
take out the
dropping
Undying,
low.
but they've used the Abyssal Blade that comes through on a fade. He's trying to run away. He can pick up that haste if he goes down. That's what he was
Gets
looking
bashed.
for. Gets jebaited as he gets bashed up. Now they've got the Sunray as well as the Supernova. The Aegis is going to be snatched here by Ajit as he takes it away from the hands of Vici. The hookshot's going to miss. Supernova goes off. The 3 heroes from the side of Ehome are still alive. End up escaping just barely. But as I say they're escaping, Erica's right on their tail. He gets a bash on a Chalice. You still have Exorcism going. There's a second Supernova with the Refresher being used by the Phoenix of DY. But again, Ehome just make enough distance between themselves and the rest of Vici.
Vici Gaming kills Roshan. Ehome gets the last hit, of course, but Ehome gets everything from it. So Cheese on Dead Prophet. Slark picked up a Refresher. He gave it to, let's see who's holding it. It's a Dead Prophet for now. So yeah, double Exorcism, double Ravage, and of course Aegis on Slark.
Death Prophet, the Spirit Siphon upgrade with the Shard, has the Ags, of course. Working with a Spell Prism. Exorcism's cooldown cut to 118, basically 119 seconds. Not
Spell
doing-
Prism is just a busted item.
Yeah.
It's the best tier 4 item without a doubt. It gives you everything. Mana regen, it gives you stats, 18% cooldown reduction on the items and abilities.
Pick up that Flicker. They also have an Abyssal finished on Ajit. We saw the Abyssal from the Jug, used on Fade. Basically was enough to take him out. Almost got to the Haste Rune. I think he saw it, saw a potential opportunity to run, and when he went down, Jug was close enough to get that bash. So 25k, but an opportunity here for Ehome. Certainly. Octarine Core being built for the Tidehunter. He's already got that Refresher. Lotus Orb, Pipe, Wind Waker for Ori.
Oh, Wind Waker is a really good item. You know, you have a Lasso that can be used on allies, and now you have a Wind Waker on top of that. So once they get like what might look like a good jump, you can just combo break it. Did you know that Eon Disc's ability passive is called Combo Breaker?
No?
I learned that the other day.
Sounds like something out of a fighting game.
Combo Breaker.
I think you gotta go deeper on that. Kind of like the old Halo announcer.
I'm listening, B-Cup. You go.
No, I'm
Go
good.
deeper.
Combo breaker.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Also, you should not touch the microphone.
Sorry.
Chat will not appreciate
No,
that
they
one.
won't. You're right. I'm sorry, chat. Forgive me. Holding right now. Feels like Vici, though, looking to take their moment. Hookshot in, Lasso as well. But Cox, Fissure, all coming through, as well as the totem. They've used the Echo Slam already. Old 11 with the BKB getting popped. Icarus dive over. BKB from DY never goes to the Supernova. They've got the Abyssal Blade. They'll go after this Clockwork. He's in the air, but they still have the reach. They'll get the kill on Aja. They'll take out the Aegis. Supernova not timed correctly with the Sunray. Here comes the second life. Chalice, he faints the ulti, but now he's in trouble. Force staff back.
just surviving. He faints it as the BKB came out from Ori. They've got the stun on the Leshrac, trying to catch him. There's the silence. Erica looking for his opportunity to jump in, and there's the BKB as well as the jump on
Another
Ajay.
egg.
Can he get anything out of this? They got the Supernova as well as the Sun Ray. There's the Blade Fury. Buyback comes in from Chalice. They need to get something out of this, and Death Prophet's in too deep. The lasso comes
They need
through from
Chalice
Old
to blink
11.
in.
They've got the Omni Slash bouncing around with BKB, but it's not going to be enough. XM ends up dying. There's the Ravage coming through. It's getting into the Leshrac as well as the Jug. But now another Ravage comes in. BYW trying to get the save with this hook shot. There's the fissure onto all three from Fade. They've got the damage to take out Erica. They'll take out X-Noah in return. Fade push back via the Cons. They'll take out two. As Osh's also dropped. 2 minutes on the sidelines. Looking really bad for Ehome as they found themselves on top of the Death Prophet. They've got the Spirit Summon to try and hold on.
That's
but
a
there's the
dieback.
kill. There's the GG call, and Vici take game one on an ultra kill from Ori.
Whew, man, what a game. What a game. Like Vici Gaming, some really nice itemization. Like their general understanding of how they should play this game, avoiding team fights first 10-15 minutes, not falling into a trap, fighting into Earthshaker Blink Dagger, and the Tidehunter Blink, just getting more out of the map. Young 11, man, what a performance on this batch.
Yeah,
Like the
seriously.
itemization was really on point.
Very nice, very good. Him and DY too. The double, anything, double lasso, double
Yeah,
egg.
the supports did some
really
heavy
fun.
lifting. Clockwork and Phoenix, DY and PYW were also playing an amazing game of Dota.
Yeah, an amazing game of Dota for game one. I'll be interested to hear what the panel thinks and their thoughts coming into game two. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Bkyop and Lacoste. Yeah, what a fantastic game one in this series. But in the end, it does go to Vici Gaming. Lizard, you know, you lost a bit of confidence in yourself in that green room there in your prediction, but in the end, held true. You held strong.
I lost confidence?
No,
What?
no, yeah, of course not. Of course you didn't. Of course you were just holding still the whole way through. But that team fight, though, coming out from Ehome was something else. I mean, they were hungry for this win, even though their draft wasn't necessarily like the easiest thing to pull off. They were utilizing all their spells and abilities to try and make this happen. I mean, how close was this game, really?
It was extremely close because it did come down to this last couple of team fights in which it all comes down to who uses their spells better, who pops their buyback sometimes, rejoins the fight. Like, let's say if this Tidehunter buybacks a second earlier, joins that fight a little bit earlier before that Prophet dies. Maybe it's a different sort of a scenario, but it's a little bit sad to see the game broken down in the last 5 minutes like this, and because everything leading up to it becomes a little bit more, little bit less relevant. Let's put it that way, because the whole game was extremely fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, my personal highlight was when they were going high ground. They dropped down the Ravage, and they try to jump the Leshrac, and then Old 11 just comes in with that shard, which I haven't actually seen used in a competitive game before, and just scoops them out of there. Are you sold on this Batrider shard after seeing this game?
I've seen it once or twice before in another region. I think it was Europe. It was used in a very similar way, where one guy is baiting and then he gets lasso, takes almost no damage, and then all the initiation is on cooldown. I mean, as you said, it was a game-turning fight. He just comes back in, uses Bloodstone to get back to full health, and they just have nothing ready to fight VG anymore.
I think this is it here.
This panel is too wholesome. Like, Old 11, okay, he had his coffee, like Lacoste said. This is definitely a day where he turned up, showed up. However,
game, not day yet.
Okay, the game at least.
Yeah.
However, let's make it a little less wholesome. What do you think about the carries and their item builds, Black?
I'm not allowed to talk about that anymore.
You can. We give you like one free pass.
Okay.
It's for this game.
Again, actually, Ajay did pretty well this game. Not like too many mistakes. The last couple of team fights, he was a little bit out of position, but Erica, especially, you know, the Mjolnir into Skadi. BKB is a very weird item build with a very weak power spikes, I would say.
I guess the reasoning is you're playing versus that Prophet. There's that silence, right? Many stuns on their lineup as well.
No Manta.
No Manta, no
status
SNY,
resistance.
nothing, yeah.
Yeah, like he died like 4-5 times instantly because he just got bursted.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was definitely the weak link of VG, and the other 4 players played phenomenally though. Like they really did some heavy lifting. But again, you know, like if you want to play at the very, very top, you can't afford to have any weaklings on the team, and he needs to step it up for sure.
Really, when I'm looking at Vici Gaming, I would say the trio of Phoenix, Leshrac, Batrider is what made this game.
Yeah, I mean, Clock also has so many amazing hooks though and stuff. It's
He had many amazing hooks, yeah. he also had many hooks.
yes, he did have many hooks.
That's also the thing, and this shard on him, I can't really agree with.
Jetpack, yeah.
Jetpack, yeah, it's literally 1,400 gold down the drain, man. It's,
For the memes.
it's for the memes, if nothing.
It's like you can shout your team halfway through a team fight, go, haha, look guys, I'm in the air, look at me.
You can cheer them on.
Yeah. On the other hand, when it comes to Ehome, yeah, by the way, I really think Clockwork had a couple of missed hook shots that baited their kind to popping that BKB, or maybe even missed hook shots on the Shaker, which allows him to use his combo. There were no combo breakers there, but obviously he still had a really good game. Early Vessel, very early BKB allows him to make enough space for that egg to always pop off. Those eggs were on point, by the way. Phoenix had been single-handedly winning team fights early on. Obviously, Lashrak, Clockwork helping out there, but the egg positioning always baits them so that they can think that they can kill it, but they never truly do.
No, they had that defense there. They had the Clockwork, they had the jug damage and the Leshrak as well. Too much to deal with. But of course, our MVP for this first game, it has to be Old 11 on his Bat Rider with some phenomenal plays, some creative build, and some generally game-changing moments. I mean, with that singular save alone, you could give him this MVP, but it wasn't just that. I mean, what else was he doing through the game which caught your eye?
I mean, the most notable for me actually wasn't just in the base where he saved the Lashrak, but the double lasso on DP
Yeah.
And Slark.
Slark. That was actually game winning right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like both of them died without popping BK, without popping any spell. And after that, the game was just in Vici's control. So
Yep.
he was a driving force behind the success.
One person that I would commend from Ehome, his first tombstone, by the way, they talked a bit about it, wasn't that bad because it allows him to live. He feeds a little bit of gold to Lash, but he does not feed experience to him and Clockwork, so
Right.
that's something. But overall, X-Nova, every single fight he finds a way to use his tombstone in a clutch position, either on a cliff or
Yeah.
somewhere that makes fighting so much more difficult for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, I noticed in one of the team fights, he kind of threw it down in a place where I was like, oh, he's just throwing it down before he dies. He's going to feed. But, you know, he knows that they won't kill that tombstone unless they, and if they do try and kill it, they will throw the team fight. And it seemed like every single tombstone, you know, if I was given like a week to watch that replay and figure out the best point to put the tombstone,
That's
like,
it.
wouldn't be able to do it.
That's
and
it.
he just snap,
If
nose, and these, some of those placements were
Like if you
really
took Tesla's Dota AI algorithm that calculates somehow where the best tombstone positioning would be, he always had it right. One more thing that I have to say about the Shaker, like,
ahead.
okay, you're going for the Blink Dagger, you're going for the Shard a little bit late after the Arcane Boots, but still, there were no combos, or they were pretty much always too late, early on at least. Like the Fissure is there, then the Totem, Echo never connects. I understand players like to be a little bit more, let's say, conservative with their echoes, but could have been done a slightly bit better.
Absolutely. Alrighty, well, that's going to just about do it for the first game, but of course we've got the second game in the series just around the corner, and a series which is going to be very, very important to both of these teams, because it could, in the long run, mean qualification to the major, which, by the way, has just been announced to be in Singapore, run by PGL and One Esports, so very excited to have a major LAN on the cards, the first one in 14 months. My goodness, I can't wait. But we will have to wait, and we'll also have to wait for game number 2 as we throw it over to a break, and then we'll be back with the second game of the series. Hello and welcome back to the Dota Pro Circuit Regional Leagues. My name is Nomad. Joining me is Black and Lizard as we get into game number 2 of Ehome versus Vici Gaming. Game number 1 goes to Vici. Game number 2 could go either way. Ehome showing they are here to put up a fight, and I think with a slightly better draft, this game actually could have been super even. What would you like to see from them? Or if you could change one here about the last draft, what would it be?
Probably Slark.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he did well overall in the game, but I just always feel like Slark is kind of underwhelming, you know. He doesn't really do too much, especially early game. They're always struggling with him. After his second, third item, he started doing a lot of things in the team fights, but it's quite late already, you know. You're working at a disadvantage. You shouldn't even be in that position to begin with, you know. And he didn't do super well against Bad Rider, did he?
Yeah, like first you're playing into that Bat Rider, which means that your lane on paper should be easy, which should give you your power specs a little bit earlier. He goes for that Falcon Blade into the Diffusal. I like the Falcon Blade, I really do. It's just that overall on Slark, it doesn't feel that great. Against
slows
that
down the timings.
Slows all his timings, but realistically, even if he doesn't go for that Falcon Blade, still he needs something that's going to allow him to fight constantly. That's what he was doing, right? He was joining these fights, but it doesn't feel like he's doing as much of an impact as the enemy core. Even though Jug, with his build, also it was a little bit questionable this game.
So what would you have liked instead of the Slark then? Suggest to me a different carry you would have liked to see in his place this game.
I don't quite remember the bans. I just know PL was banned, so that's not really an option. What else was there? Like something like a Morphling? I don't know if Morphling was banned.
Morphling was banned, yes.
Was banned also. And then
They didn't really focus too many on the or Ursa was still in the pool, Troll was still in the pool. Yeah, they had those options. Like
I mean, they don't lane too well against Bad Rider, but mid-late game they definitely do a lot more than Slark. Even early game they have more potential. It just feels like the Slark only a select few teams can make it work, like Enigma, you know, like some really like Slark experts, you know.
I think one of the things that you have to think about all the carries that are played right now is they either build into Battle Fury and have some power specs when it comes to their farming speed, or they have some burst damage in team fights, right? Like when you're thinking about Slark, he never truly gets to that bursting of the enemy cores or supports. He kind of goes in, out, in, out, in, out, but that's it. Like with the Jug, at least you have your ulti. With the Ursa on his own is burst damage with that Abyssal. Morphling E-Blade. He doesn't really give you that power spec at least. Maybe that's something that's wrong with him.
Okay, fair enough. But what about the mid lane matchup this game? Because of course we had the Death Prophet versus the Leshrac. Who do you think had the better game out of those two?
Both of them played really well, right? Death Prophet pretty much stomped the laning stage. Like the laning stage went really well for XM, but later on it's just a better maybe Leshrac game.
Yeah, but also early game he had like 1-2 exorcisms that weren't really used very well, kind of wasted, which of course, you know, the first two especially are super important, whether you can get a tower or two with them. Just creates the map control for your team.
But that Leshen to Slark looks really, really good.
Yeah, it's rough for Slark, always. You get stunned, too much Edict damage, it's just too much AoE damage. It was a great pick.
Yep, and let's hope that Ehome don't leave themselves open to another pick like that here in the draft for game number 2. So, are we expecting any of the heroes which got picked last game to be banned out here?
The bans in the last game were also pretty good. In the first stage, we had some Wisps, some ODs, so Puck as well. I actually would like to see kind of similar bans. We don't have to switch things up.
Maybe Bad Rider?
Maybe Bad Rider
that's
from
what
Ehome, yeah.
I was trying to lead you guys.
We'll see.
You're such a leader, such a clue giver.
Just laying down the breadcrumbs.
Yeah. No, I mean, Bat Rider definitely did have a good game, and one of the reasons why they might choose to ban it is because it's flexible, right? It's not only good on old 11, it's also good on mid, so you might want to get that out, but this is a no-brainer. Wisp is so much stronger overall.
Crazy hero.
And the Oracle, yeah, same bans.
There we go.
Which sets up for a Bad Rider again.
Yep.
If they choose to do that.
Yeah, this time Ehome has the first pick, so they could just go for it.
Feel
they
like
go
they
with the
should,
Phoenix.
But okay, there you go Phoenix. Don't forget Ehome can take their Abaddon. That could be a really nice answer to the Bat Rider if Vici first pick it.
Abaddon now when you think for Vici Gaming or for Ehome?
For Ehome to
you
spell
have
the-
Phoenix already. right?
So
You mean if the bat is picked?
if Vici pick Batrider, then Ehome should pick Abaddon.
If he support duo though.
Very iffy. That's the only problem with me as well. Like you would have this. This is maybe a little bit better from Vici Gaming. We are stealing away the Mars Phoenix combo.
Yep.
We have still seen Phoenix do well with, let's say, just a clock on his team. So that's still doable. They still have options.
What could they be thinking here? X-Nova, usually X-Nova plays the Phoenix, right?
Yeah, they can play it on 4 as well, but
Maybe
5
Shaker
is-
again, but wasn't very successful last game. I just want to have some sort of stunner on 4. Like I feel like if you pick 2 non-stun supports, Dota just becomes unnecessarily hard.
Yeah, agreed.
Like there's
They
no
could play-
need to make it hard.
they could still pick their Tusk, let's say, something that saves you from the arena. They could go with the Shaker too.
Task Shaker, Clock.
Yeah.
is okay
Anything
as
like
well.
that is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I like the Tusk especially because it gives you some wave clearing potential as well, which Phoenix, can do eventually, but it's not.
Yeah, some wave clear also.
Ideal for
He's
it.
flexible when it comes to positions. Like you can be 4 or 5. We've seen some Elder Titan recently picked up too. It's a
That
decent.
could be interesting. Yeah,
it's a decent laner as well.
Taken a lot of time. Like they didn't expect that Mars pick or something.
And they go with the Brew. This is actually something that Vici Gaming picks a lot on 5. So
It is?
they're stealing it away from them. And like Black said, it's very interesting to see a team waste so much time on their first 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you kind of nerd out. It's your opening. It's your opening. You know, okay, if they
should
pick
be
this, we'll
prepared.
pick this. Yeah,
Yeah.
They should be usually prepared.
I hope those are not the 2 supports though. I'm probably gonna be an offlane Brewmaster. At least that's what I hope. Because both of them offer no control in team fights other than a Brewmaster ulti, which is quite late. Rotations are super hard to do in the early game.
Super cooldown oriented as well, right?
Yeah, wouldn't like that too much.
Vici with the Mirana.
Egg killer.
Good Phoenix.
Egg
Anti-Phoenix
assassin.
hero.
Yeah, it's a good assassin for the egg. We have also seen it played in the Chinese region by Emo on mid lane.
We have.
Like-
we have.
I wouldn't mind seeing that again, man. Like that Mirana looked sick. Like I would
It
love
really
that.
did. It really did. But can Ori pull off the same magic which Emo was able to in that matchup?
I mean, he
'Cause
could. He's a player that definitely can.
He can.
But
he
it just looks more likely it's just going to be the standard Mars Mirana lane. Spear into arrow. One of the most potent combos in Dota.
Yeah, it's a really strong lane overall. Mirana will always secure that range creep or the Carti. Gets a lot of farm from those hard camps surrounding the lane. Yeah. Morphling banned out by Vici Gaming, and from Ehome we have the Jug. So basically this Jug is obviously something that Vici Gaming has played already, and it's also pretty solid versus the Egg.
Is still Ursa that comes to mind.
Is there anything which lanes really well into Mars?
Ricky. Ricky owns Mirana. Ricky. Mars and lane.
Yeah, gets them both. Strong smoke cloud ability, strong chase potential.
Yeah, and you can set off the Cinder's Brew also with Blink Strike.
How can you?
These 25 magic damage. Wow.
Wow.
But it's enough to trigger the burn for some reason.
Cool. Balanced combo.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, what do we have of the top tier picks right now for carries? We have your Ricky, you have your Troll, you have your Ursa still in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those, when you look at Ehome, they played mostly the Ursa or the Troll.
Yeah, I don't really feel like it's a Ricky team, to be honest. Like, Ricky is a very, like, sneaky, lots of finesse kind of hero, you know?
Mhm.
They're more like, we're
Straightforward,
going to run at you
yeah.
kind of team.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ehome is banning out the Storm. Are they thinking about the Bat Rider themselves, perhaps, on that mid lane?
It
That's
could
also an
just be
option.
because both supports don't really offer
Any
lockdown.
control. Yeah.
We've seen this so much, especially in SEA, where nobody cares about Storm. Suddenly you just fourth pick it, or, oh, we have nothing.
Yeah.
We just,
yeah.
like, lose.
Stuns are good. Big
Yeah,
stuns.
stuns are good.
Yeah.
Stuns, win game.
Yep. Okay,
Stun
so
enemy.
one thing that Black said earlier makes even more sense right now. He wished that these two aren't supports. I wish that too. But with seeing the Storm banned out, they most probably are. Because
Yeah.
if Panda was offlane, then it opens up something like Shadow Shaman, let's say, or even Lion. Like you could pick heroes that are good
Yeah,
versus
instant
Storm.
stuns.
Yeah. Drow Ranger banned by Vici Gaming, something that something that Ehome has played. Obviously, it's one of the losses that they had against Aster that they played it in.
Yeah, was very close though.
Yeah. It's also a game where Puck was played with Phoenix, but Puck is banned out.
They're taking so much bonus time already. They have like 30 seconds left for 3 more picks.
Certainly have. You know, Black, I think the hero in Dota you most resemble would probably be Storm Spirit.
The,
Yeah, like-
the buff one, yeah.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
makes
I,
a lot
He
of-
was a little bit chubby, but then he became super
Yeah, they
buff.
buffed
I mean,
him up,
I wouldn't
yeah.
mind that. I mean, the hero's so broken.
He's a super seducer with the rose in his mouth
And
as
just
well.
makes random noises all the time. You know, when you're playing Storm, he's like,
Put
"Ha,
pop.
oh,
Put
pudding
pop."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you make random noises all the time. You tone it down a bit on stream, but when you're not on stream, it's kind of just like a
Yeah, I
constant.
know. Who's that handsome double?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ehome banning out the Medusa later on. It's a solid hero right now. One of, in my opinion, the strongest carry,
But
especially
why did
with
they
Mars.
ban it? Why
Yeah.
don't they pick it? I feel it could be really good for them.
Maybe because you're playing versus Mars.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it would be pretty good for them. I agree. You have this Phoenix combo with the Stone Gaze overall. It looks solid.
The Dusa is really underpicked still. Overall.
One thing that I like with Duza is having a brawler kind of lineup that can always fight. Phoenix and Brew kind of don't bring that to the table.
Yeah. Very
The cooldown dependent, and then you can invade Ehome's jungle every time those spells are used, which can be problematic.
So VG, I mean, they don't see much. They only see the 2 supports. So one of their cores is. Oh, what is a good +5 against those 2 heroes? Undying is possible. Undying definitely secures the lane against both these heroes. But I mean, you have a lot of stun already, so Undying wouldn't be the worst.
You can focus on some team fighting together with the Elder Titan
Or
as well.
Disruptor,
Yeah.
or Nyx Assassin.
Okay, Nyx
Still
Assassin is
cool.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Hero always feels really good, doesn't it?
It
Right
does.
now he's in a really good spot. Like the itemization on him can be very different. Eventually you get that shard, movement speed is crazy. But
I imagine it's very good versus Phoenix. Is it good
Troll again.
versus Brew? Or
it's good versus Phoenix, Brew, and Troll. Overall, it's nice. Nice hero. Like Trolls usually build into that Battle Fury right now, so you can set up the Carapace. Even Battle
Well,
Fury,
even then with
Maelstrom
his
doesn't
axes.
matter. And the axes, obviously. Phoenix is same, has a lot of dots. Because of that, Nyx is also pretty solid.
I feel like Nyx right now is always like goes both ways. Like say the Troll gets an early BKB, he just gets on top of the Nyx, he's just dead instantly.
Yep.
But if Nyx gets to stun him first, then Troll is in trouble. It's like Nyx has always been a super annoying hero. Like
Yeah, right now, what I want from Vici is some reach. Well, okay, they go with the DP. They go with something more stable. You get that silence versus all these 3 heroes can be very annoying.
it's a tough draft to lane against because all the DP counters in mid lane they
yeah,
get destroyed by Nyx. You can't pick a Lina, you can't pick a Quap.
might need something a bit left field here, but they're going to go with their Beastmaster
Beastmaster.
instead. They pick up their offlaner, cementing this Phoenix and Brew as the support duo.
First stun of the game
First stun,
for their team.
a pretty long cooldown. Does bring Necros though, that's something. Like you will have that Necro 3 to work with versus the Nyx, it's also solid.
Mars is good against Beast though.
Yeah. The Bonk against all the summons.
Yep.
Quite pesky, quite tricky to deal with.
Very interesting that they banned out the Razor. It's good versus Troll, but how do you like finalize this draft on Vici Gaming with the Razor?
carry.
It's not. It doesn't sound great, but
Nope.
could work.
Well, Ehome thought it was anyways. They banned it out. So suggest to me what Ehome need. 'Cause to me, it feels like they need a lot from this last pick. They need a bit more team fight. They need, or maybe not with the support duo, but they definitely need some stuns. They definitely need a way to kind of get on top of heroes and burst them down to follow up. Maybe
a tough pick.
It's a really tough pick,
Invoker?
like Black said, because of Nyx Assassin. Like
Yeah,
you have this Nyx, suddenly if you want Batrider, you can't really have it, even though it's not a great matchup versus that Prophet. If you want Lina, that's a good matchup. It's also hard versus the Nyx.
Yeah, Nyx makes all the good lanes against DP very hard to play.
Yeah.
It's
Not
a very
Sniper,
good
though.
combination. Yeah, but then you shrapnel.
Yeah, but you're 2 screens away anyway. It doesn't matter.
Weaver.
Vici
What are they trying to
bannouts
protect?
Yeah, this
Point.
Weaver, I've seen it picked quite a bit against the Troll. Like, they picked the Weaver versus the Troll and also versus the Egg. It's nice, but you already have Mirana versus the Egg. You didn't need to double down on that.
Yeah. So for VG, I think it's quite easy. They need something like an Ursa, just a hard carry that lanes well and deals with the Egg as well as the Troll late game.
Yeah.
For Ehome, it's a lot more difficult. Like, it's not as straightforward. And they're running out of time. They only have 4 seconds left in the bonus time.
They can take their time now when Vici... never
I'm,
mind.
I'm going Invoker for Ehome. I think that's what they want, even though it's against the Nyx.
It can work. It's very risky, though.
Yeah.
And whatever they pick, there's no perfect pick here. I don't believe so.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be countered either way in some sort of shape.
Or Ember.
Against DP lanes very poorly, and then you play
Yeah.
into Nyx as well. Venom, man.
Okay, yeah,
Ooh,
okay, I like
okay,
this. I like
okay.
this. I don't mind
Yeah?
this at all. Yeah,
Take this pick.
This makes actually the most sense.
yeah. It's like, okay, we don't have anything good to pick here.
So let's pick a Venom.
let's pick a Venom.
Which is also good
banana.
against the Ursa, you know? You
Yeah.
could potentially
You
block.
can swap lanes,
Yeah,
even.
You can pick that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the...
I have seen games in which Veno is picked into an Ursa. Yeah, you dominate him on the lane, but later on, if the enemy team has any sort of reach, Veno is just food.
Yeah, if you don't get your ulti off as Veno, then you feel very, very...
Dude,
mean,
this is like a perfect anti-mage game, man, for VG. They have like almost no way to catch him. They don't have a way to catch him.
Yeah.
Only raw, but the windup is so long. The lane is gonna be easy. Venomancer does nothing to him. And they have 4
beast.
heroes who fight amazingly
you think?
without him.
Yeah. Do you think that one bad aspect of the anti-mage is Troll comes online a little bit faster together with his whole team,
Of course,
and
of course.
you can lose your side of the map very early on.
But the lane should be quite hard to play for Troll against Mirana Mars. There's a lot of pressure there. And nobody plays anti-mage anyway, so whatever.
This is
They will
actually,
go with the Bristle
so
instead.
I was looking their drafts previously, and I was thinking,
Bristle.
okay, they might pick Bristle, but
Yeah.
Bristle into Veno and Troll.
yeah, that's the thing, right?
Man, what is the draft?
You don't like it?
I mean, the carry Bristle can work really well. It's just they're always picking it in games where it's hard already.
Yeah, and it looks so easy for this Veno to itemize right now. You need Vessel into any mobility, and you're good. You're set. Like that Vessel versus the Bristle versus the Dead Prophet is really strong.
I think Ehome is taking this one. Should be quite easy. The team fight is also better. It's just like everything seems to be better. The only way VG wins is they really snowball from the lanes.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is going to be tough.
It almost feels like that's the gamble they've just said. You know, they've said we're going to smash these lanes, and now we're going to pick this Bristle just to choke them out of the game.
Yep.
Listen, your prediction, please.
Yeah, so I think this Bristle is basically Vici Gaming going back to their full comfort zone. I don't think it's the best total pick for the game. The Venomancer already brings a lot of problems to him, together with the Troll itemization. The teamfight is also solid on them. I have seen that Prophet scary though. I have seen that Prophets with that Shiva do quite a bit, but I'll still go Ehome.
Going Ehome as well. Oof. Do I tip the scales? Do I tip the scales? Black goes Ehome as well, and I like the Venomancer. I really do like the Venomancer, so I'm going to go for Ehome as well. It's going to be 3 from Ehome for us. Let's find out if our panel can, our casters can shake things up. Let's bring in B-Cop and Lacoste for their very speedy predictions as we are now into the game.
B-Cup, go.
Super speedy, Nephomancy. It's the vision of using, the clouds to get your answers. I took Ehome. That's what the cloud said.
All right.
I'll go with the Vici Gaming. Spice things up a
Alright,
bit.
stir the pot. Thank
We'll
you,
hop
Lacoste.
into the game. Don't have much time. I'll explain it into the game.
Alrighty, very efficient. Thank you very much, B-Cop and Lacoste. Let's get into game number 2 of Ehome versus Vici Gaming.
Thank you. Nomad coming into game 2. Ehome dropping the first one. Vici taking it. So we'll see if they can clean sweep the series or if Ehome now have the opportunity to even it up. It seems like there's a lot of confidence between the panel and us. Although maybe not you. I don't know. You said Vici.
Yeah, I'm a
We'll
lone
see.
warrior here. You know, just putting myself a lot of faith in this bristleback. Thought it could be something different, maybe something else, but it can still work. Like, it's a snowbally lineup, bristleback plus a Dead Prophet. I can't believe Black actually decided to go against Bristleback. He's been playing the hero quite a lot. He's been praising it, how strong it is, and now he says, like, yeah, he doesn't put trust in him. A bit disappointed, but we'll have to see. Bottom lane, we see this lane quite often. Troll plus Brewmaster. Brewmaster starting with the boots and the tango. I've seen this lane lose because he went for the same item build. I think it was against the Timbersaw, so it's kind of a different lane, but you don't put any pressure. I can understand, you know, position 5's trying to buy boots speed straight away so you don't have to buy it later, but I don't think it works here against the Mirana. You're going to get harassed against the Mars, so I don't think you're going to have that much pressure. Mirana, let's see PYW if he can snipe the courier. Seems like he can. Yeah, those tangos. Bye-bye.
Oh, dear.
Radiant's courier has
Yeah,
been
there
killed.
goes the courier, and that is 3 tangos getting stopped. Like you said, we've seen Brews without regen struggle, where they try to use that harassment through the Cinder Brew, have that get ignited by the Troll. They're trying to do what they can to make that a very aggressive lane, but sometimes it just, you run out of regen and it feels like you can't do much more. And now with those tangos being slowed down, it's definitely going to be a bit of an issue, only having 1 to his name. This mid Venomancer, I've seen it off lane more so than not. I'm a little surprised here up mid, but do you like this matchup against the Death Prophet?
Maybe in the previous patch when Poison Sting reduced the healing, I don't think you get that much value of a mid Venomancer. Maybe Ehome wanted to try something different, change things a bit. This is the first mid Venomancer that I've seen in a very long time. So he puts 2 points in the Plague Wards now, bottom lane.
Now,
a lot of harassment. Yeah.
See, it's definitely a combo that really does hurt. Nothing to break it just yet, so you know you're going to be constantly eating that Cinder Brew with it getting ignited by Ajit.
Oh, arrow misses.
We've seen PYW on this hero before, and he's been quite strong with it. This lane, does it get harder with the more levels you get with that Cinder Brew, as well as just having the aggression needing to be that far
Lane
forward?
becomes easier for Mirana and Mars. There's a ton of kill potential. You get a spear into arrow, strong combo. Like Brewmaster, I think he's stronger first like 2-3 levels, then he starts to fall off, and waiting for that level 6 to kick in.
And this Bristle in the safe lane, I know you were saying you were disappointed in Black, not believing it, but we have seen it do poorly and not win, and we've seen it do well and fall apart at the end. So we haven't really been given much in terms of the pro games we see here to really have confidence in that pick, right? So what gave you the confidence in the Bristleback to think that Vici were going to take it?
Their damage is pretty static, which is always good to have. Just Bristleback loves to play in this type of damage. Pretty much the only thing he cares about is Spirit Vessel, Carriers, Sunray.
They're really going for Old 11. Thunderclap used, Old 11 being chased, stun hits. It's a short range arrow though. Getting away with a lot more harassment than I thought they might.
Running low on mana on a Brewmaster, has 1 mango to work with.
Top for a second looked like he might be in trouble. Spike Carapace not
Fake
keeping the
hype,
Phoenix
nothing
close.
happening. Back to the bottom lane to see the action on the bottom. Arrow misses, 11 in trouble.
But X-Nova trying to get in front of him to body block. PYW is doing some body blocks on the Ajit. Those split second might have been enough, and it was to keep Old 11 alive just barely. So PYW gets in front of the Troll, and it's that split second, that one more right click that would have taken out Old 11. He's saved by his Mirana. But again,
There's the
Cinder
Ignite
Brew,
again.
there's-
This should be the first blood.
Yeah, Old 11 getting run down here. Ajit gets the kill, looking for the Star Storm, and a trade will find it. So X-Nova ends up dead, still has leaps available. PYW needs to run, but turns and fights. Ooh, holding those leaps for a long time.
The damage you get from Ignite and the Whirling Axis is just too good. Akjit on the bottom lane, no mana for the arrow. Wow, PYW with the suicide.
Yeah, ends up going down, but it doesn't even need to refill the Death Prophet's bottle. Like, it's not a suicide that gains them a full bottle over mid.
I can understand if he like canceled the salve and then died, then it's okay since you had no mana, no HP. Now Xnova will pick up bounties.
Top lane, Erica getting low, chased and burning. Ends up dead to Fade. Now they'll turn on DY, two-man stun. DY gets the salve off, but that's stopped. Not immediately, so he does have some life to work with. The board trying to slow him down. Chalice continuing to move forward. DY looking like he's dead as well, and Chalice will claim his life, but here comes the rotation from Ori. That Crypt Swarm to get one, the TP out from the other. So a rotation in from the Death Prophet just to get one kill.
Death Prophet needs to go back to mid lane immediately. Venomancer, 3 points in wards with the Siege Creep unit. There's the TP.
So coming over, now level 6. Erica, though, dying in that top lane. And there's the bottle refill from DY. So he does die. He does refill the bottle for the Death Prophet. I'm a big fan of when the supports come over to give a helping hand.
Yeah, it's something that we see happen quite often. Sometimes we see like suicide, just so, you know, a trade, position 4 or 5 trade their lives for other support, just so that they can refill the bottle on a mid lane. Bottom lane going better than I expected. Like Troll plus Brewmaster is a strong lane, still Mars ahead. But Troll is level 6, which is a really big difference. Arrow hits
coming in,
nothing.
Doesn't come through, and now the spear under the tower. Xnova hit with the Starstorm. PYW focusing his attention onto the Brew. Leap in, Xnova, one more shot, down he goes.
PYW even eats the tree to, you know, get the vision. Gets the
Courier
courier on
dies
top
too.
of that. Nice.
But Erica top. Again, this Phoenix just ripping through that tough outer exterior of the Bristleback. That is
Fade, interesting build. I think he might actually just go for it on Phoenix. Straight BKB against the Nyx Assassin, against like Mars, Death Prophet Silence. It's a possibility, you know, to be able... Because Nyx Assassin will use Carapace on your Sunray to stop it straight away.
It's right into the BKB. I mean, it's wise, but it's not something you normally see. Death Prophet pops the Exorcism, immediate TP,
Arrow,
but the
connect.
double stun coming in from DY.
Now that's a big rotation for Vici Gaming. Fade
kill.
still has a dive, so I don't think you're getting this one. Beastmaster with the roar available. Fade.
He's like wanting to fight into it. Sunray now with Primal Roar,
He
but
gets
he's
the
fighting
kill.
the Exorcism. He's dead.
Team, help me out. Oh, he gets the triple. What is going on?
Is under attack.
Wow. Okay, I want to see this. I want to see this in slow motion. What Chalice
And he tries to neutral. What did I just witness?
Wait, what's going on in this game? Chalice with the tip back. Interesting, I gotta say.
In all chat, haha, very much uncharacteristic of anything you see in the region in the all chats, but they just fought in
I didn't even see how Death Prophet. I did like Ancient's Killer or what?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, she's safe. Gotta check the bottom lane, what's happening.
This isn't not Dota anymore. That whole sequence of events was a different game, please. DY. Invis spotting Ajit, trying to get the stun as well as the arrow. It will connect. Just don't think they have the damage to kill the troll regardless.
Taking some pressure off Bristleback feels nice, so they're just playing the bottom lane for now. Bristleback, meanwhile, stacking the camps
So here's
in the
the
jungle.
team fight again.
Okay, so
This is-
Arrow will hit Venomancer.
Double stun from DY. Both XM and Xnova die. Fade playing in this school of Ghostfish. And I don't know why he stood there and came back. He's just dead, and
Okay,
Chalice the
I
same.
understand that. Chalice is like, yeah,
Arrow?
I'm going in. Arrow hits the summon, the necro unit, and I guess he thought the damage is going to be tanked by Necro Warrior. We didn't see the best part. We didn't see the best part. It was too embarrassing. Production is like, yeah, we're not showing that.
Yeah, we'll save you guys. Moonlight Shadow used by Vici. Are starting to invade the triangle, looking for XM. They've got a bunch here. Boar's spotting Erica. On the high ground is DY. They'll take the bounty. They'll bottle it up for Ori. Now Vici are up 2K with Ori leading the way.
Ori got so much. Unfortunately, died in the end to the neutrals. But yeah, okay. So they are playing with the catapult on the mid lane. Exorcism popped. Let's see the rotation from Ehome.
See if they learn their lesson about fighting in Exorcism. DY as well as Old 11 are here to try and defend. Erica joins up, so 4 heroes mid. Stun comes out. There's the arena as well as the spear. They've got the stun on the Beastmaster. Arrow actually misses. Doesn't matter. Chalice still dead. PYW taking a lot of damage. Ajit coming over. They had the supernova on the back lines, but Vici have disengaged far enough away where it doesn't stun them.
Oh, nice stun from Nyx.
Onto the Brewmaster as well as the Troll. So Ajit and X-Nova both get hit. Icarus dive in. XM gets the kill on a DY. They look over at Old 11 trying to burn him out with the spirits. They're burning, they're hurting, and not doing enough, but it's the poison sting in the end that gets the kill. They'll find Erica. The arrow flies in. It doesn't land on anybody on Ehome. Ajit pops the battle trance, and Erica ends up dead. They'll go with the primal split. Ori's in on this. The stun, the poison nova.
Oh,
Crit Storm
misses.
misses Ajit. PYW still trying to chase, but the Troll's far enough away, and Mirana gets cyclone. Stun up onto Ori once again. Spirit's not landing. They're still trying to chase. X-Nova in his face.
Ori's
Stun
dead.
right on him, burning him out, taking away the Death Prophet. Arrow, it lands. He's an archer, gets the kill with the Vendetta shot at the end. DY takes him
And
out
now
of the
Roar
fight,
and
but
Mars. Mars just
Old 11
respawned
is
and it's dead again.
in by himself. He gets in with a primal roar. Everybody's coming back one by one. We're all
10
fighting
heroes
into
mid,
this.
let's
XM,
go.
He's trying to do as much as he can, and look at the wards.
PYW's dead.
PYW's gone.
There's too much overtime damage from Ehome. Like you have the board slow, everything from Venomancer, Ignite, Phoenix. There's also full Spirit Vessel now complete on Venomancer. That's gonna be tough to fight into. What's Bristleback going for? Yeah, Hood, Eternal Shroud. This is kind of a standard build on the Bristleback these days, but yeah, I want to see some more levels on him, a bit more stacks being made. Funny game to watch for sure.
Everybody's just fighting mid. It's a party. I'm so down for it, though. 21 kills in 12 minutes. Take that any day. Battle Fury being built for the Troll. Sitting 4th on the net worth. He's actually quite behind his own Veno, but a little bit behind the Death Prophet and the Bristle. So they're starting to put some posturing onto the bottom lane. Look for the tier 1 tower. And Erica just finding some space to try and farm himself. Nyx Assassin coming over. Some spirits throwing DY's way, and well, that's the Spike Carapace. We'll see if DY goes for more. It doesn't look like it.
Shadows take us.
Mirana ulti,
Shadow.
let's see if they can find anything. There's the backstab. There's still also tier 1 towers standing with the 70 HP. And it's being pinged out. They're like, yeah, we need to go around. Brewmaster split available in 3 seconds. Where's the follow-up damage?
Looks like he's trying to survive the stun.
Arrow snipes him.
X-Nova, he ends up dead. Mana burn onto this Venomancer. They look over at Ori. They get the kill. The Primal Roar was used. They'll also take out DY. The chase is on to Old 11. Dominating for Ajit already. And I don't think Old 11 gets out of this one. He'll spear back one, but Icarus dive forward. Fade. Moving in, trying to help get this kill on Old 11. Spirit Vessel. The spirits, the damage over time is just too much for Old 11 to handle.
This is just disgusting. The overtime damage that they have on Ehome. Oh, PYW almost dies to
That's
killing
risky.
a red Necro Warrior.
Guess the gold is worth it.
Late game belongs to Ehome with the Brewmaster Phoenix. I mean, Venomancer as a mid laner doesn't really scale as much, but he's getting ton of farm. Like Bristleback is not that great of a late game carry, so I'd still prefer, like, you know, Dead Prophet over Bristleback in the late game, how much damage these two heroes deal. So, you know, still feels Ehome has a much better late game, even though they have a mid Venomancer. Possibility that one of the teams run into Roche Pit. The Dead Prophet wants to have level 2 Exorcism before going into the Roche Pit, because the Ghosts double from 8 to 16, which is a pretty big deal.
So both teams looking like they can contest Roche.
Yeah, for sure.
Game.
Like one fight, turn that possibly into Roche. Roar is available for seconds.
Ori, the timings! There's the Primal Roar, it stops the TP. Ori caught by himself. Spirit Siphon as well as the Yules. It's enough. Ori surviving and Chalice on the run, but now that
he's
it's
still
over,
dead. Like there's too much slow.
If there was any help, if there was maybe a tier 1 that somebody could get to, that would have worked. Spirit Vessel. Also, the Primal Split was used. Moonlight Shadow. They need to keep the vision on to Erica. They've got the damage over time. Spirit Vessel trying to TP out, and he's gone.
He tried to dispel it, but it's non-dispellable. Still have to try. No, maybe something has changed. It's not written in the change log.
Could get
see,
a,
you know, just
a
see what
bug.
happens.
Maybe this time it accidentally interacts with each other.
Dire's top tower
Always a
is under
possibility.
attack.
So only a 1k lead right now for Ehome. But
Radiant's
Troll,
bottom tower
when he gets that Battle Fury, which he just picked up,
Dire's top tower is
take
under
this stack, you can start building up that net worth and make a charge towards the top.
Radiant's bottom
Battlefield
tower
here is the
under
correct
attack.
choice, I would say, where you want to be able to scale. You feel that your tower defense is strong. You can still fight even with the team because you have a good front line. A lot of things that they can't really focus.
Erica
Necro
spotted
Warriors.
again. They've got the Supernova right on him. He can't even run away. Look how slow he
They
is.
just left him. They understand, you know, there's too much overtime damage. It's gonna
Radiant are scanning.
die anyway. Radiant using a scan, so nice read from Akhjit. Not sure who used it, but he instantly goes back.
I mean, that kill onto the Bristleback, it looks like they're just playing with their food. Arrow comes in, but I don't believe it hit X-Nova. Now they've got the Primal Roar. Oh, stun, misses X-Nova. He's moving around, he's juking, he's jiving, he's getting away, he's not dying just yet. And the Sunray on the old 11. Fade has the damage, DUI with the TP. The damage isn't enough to kill him before he gets away, though.
Oh, this game feels like it's falling apart for Vici Gaming. Bristleback, this is his 4th death already. I don't even know how you itemize. Like, you need a Lotus Orb, something that
Radiant's bottom
you kind of
tower is
don't
under
want to
attack.
buy early on, but you definitely need one. Especially as a carry Bristleback, you know. It's you want to invest into items that will allow you to scale. He's getting that Heaven's Halberd, great against the Troll. Some spell lifesteal amp, didn't even upgrade it to Eternal Shroud yet, but definitely needed the spell Spear into miss stun,
misses.
but you know, they still get that kill.
That was a smoke for a 5, though. I think Ehome will be happy with that, or, well, they won't be
Radiant's
happy
middle
with it.
tower is
They'll
under
be
attack.
fine
Radiant
with it.
structures are
It's a 5 position. They're okay if smoke gets used on that gank.
I
They'll
talked
take
about
it.
Lotus Orb. There's one queued on Nyx Assassin, one on Dead Prophet. I want to see what the Bristleback will go for.
Going Halberd. So Ajit, Arena, Sunray, but
Silence.
The spear connects. They've got the silence and the stun. That's the combo they need to kill off Ajit. Again, fighting into Exorcism, need to be very careful about how far they want to go. Moonlight Shadow is out as well. Arrow hitting the range creep. PYW will take that. We take those. And Van Brace drop. Halberd finished.
Even Mirana killed the Lotus Orb. You get so much value out of this item, like removing the Gale, removing the Fiery Spirits, Drunken Haze, Whirling Axes, Mischance, pretty much everything. You can also use it on the Primal Roar. Let's see if they decide to possibly get inside the Roche Pit. One pick off. with the Beastmaster. Necro 3 is already done. So it's a possibility. Xnova is picking it out. Seems like they just want to go in, force a team fight. They know there's no exorcism, so they're like, yeah, well, we'll just go in. They can't fight us.
So they'll
Too
start
much
it.
vision. Like, vision game is extremely strong here from Ehome. You have Venom Wards, you have the Hawk, something that I mention quite a lot whenever I see Venomancer that Team Secret did during the Omega League was pick Mirana against the Venomancer, so you kind of have a free smoke with the Moonlight Shadow, bypass those wards, and possibly get a kill. Because it's very hard to approach a gank against the Venomancer.
Is there a certain way that they should go about making that approach, or is it just practically impossible?
With the Moonlight Shadow, they have the tools. I want to see those Lotus Orbs complete 2-3 of those. It's going to be much, much easier for them to take a fight. Thrall getting, I'm not going to say out of control, but, you know, I don't think they have the real answers for him, especially now that he's holding the Aegis.
Yeah, even if they don't fight, they could use this opportunity to just farm up, especially with the Battle Fury. Could get Troll his next item. They're looking for BKBs on a couple of these heroes for Ehome. So now Vici on the run. Venomous Gale hits on old 11. Look at the damage he's taking. Trying to run. Axe is hit.
No mana on him. He needs to pop the bottle, but the overtime damage just canceling that every region. Oh, God.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
50% of the time, it lands every time. And
Yeah, 50% of the time works 100% of the time. Exactly.
That was first hit root. We've been seeing a lot of that. First hit bashes, first hit roots. A lot of unlucky
Dire's
players in
middle
these
tower
games.
is under attack.
Arrow only hitting the range creep, not the board. Erica thinking about defending. Need to be careful on this. They still have everything in the hands of Ehome. If you want to try
100
and go in
move
on
speed on
this.
Bristleback. Wow.
There's the Lotus Orb showing its power.
BYW is
movement
so
speed.
farmed. He's almost as farmed as Mars, which is pretty insane.
Primal Roar coming through onto the Mars. Supernova right on top for good measure. That'll burn old 11 out. Ajik gets the kill, and onto the tier 2. They'll take it very quickly.
Dire's
And they're still working with this
middle tower
Aegis.
has fallen.
Still almost full 3 minutes on that Aegis. Ori finishing that Lotus Orb, the second one, working towards the Boots of Travel.
Trust me, I know how to handle such power.
It seems like a very tough game for Vici. They do spot the Beastmaster. They've got the break and the stun. The arrow flies in. X-Nova just becoming a target.
Surprised Mirana didn't go for Beastmaster there. There was a setup with the Yule Scepter. Ori kind of backed off after using everything. After using the Yule Scepter, he's like, yeah, he's just going to TP out. Didn't trust his teammates.
Especially using that exorcism, wanting to make something of it. So those exorcisms that we see not getting objectives that feel very, very ineffective, and then there's that big gap of time until
It's
they're
an
able to make something
exorcism
go.
with Arcane Rune, so you're fine with that. You know, just getting a kill. We'll have it again in a minute. Phoenix, BKB done. First item BKB, something we usually don't see, but playing into Nyx Assassin, Silence from the Dead Prophet, it just feels good. He wants to be able to pop a BKB and use the Sunray.
He's actually going Shard afterwards.
Shard
too.
was so broken when it first came out, like just unlimited spirits. Now it has 7-second replenish time. Haven't seen it
Dire's
since,
bottom tower
so
is
I want to
under
see
attack.
how strong of a shard it is in this type of a game.
And we'll see with the BKB. Throw those spirits out.
Dire's
Tier 1 bottom goes down. So Ehome just continuing to step up, and well, they've maintained a lead for about 10 minutes right now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
No real egg hitters on Vici Gaming. You have pretty much Mirana, and I don't think she wants to leap
Radiant's
into
top tower
No.
is under
a
attack.
team fight and just hit the egg. So Fade, if egg is placed well, it should pop off.
It's been very easy for Fade to get these eggs off. I don't think one's been destroyed just yet.
Is under attack.
And it's definitely made Fate feel very confident. And I mean, their egg options, like you said, Mirana doesn't want to leap in there, so it doesn't look like the egg's ever going to go and get destroyed unless it's on all 5 heroes and they happen to just focus it.
Xnova bought the gem for Venomancer, so it's easy for them to get rid of the wards. You have a gem, you have Necro Warriors, so it's just going to be very hard for Vici Gaming to maintain vision on the map.
Yeah, it was the vision game you were talking about. How you really liked what Ehome had in terms of vision, and now that they're stripping it away from Vici as well, they have an overwhelming amount of vision advantage over them.
I love that earlier gem pickup, because you're playing into Mirana ulti, something that you do not want to get surprised with.
Erica spotted and now slowed on the run. Sunray, Primal Roar, Moonlight Shadow. I don't think that's going to happen, and well, Supernova's in a decent spot. Needed to stop them from hitting it. Erica on the run with a Lotus Orb on him, but Supernova goes off. XM gets the kill. They'll find one. They'll look for a second. Hold 11 onto the stairs, but is it far enough away from this Ehome team? The damage over time, the slows. He just can't get away in his own base, but behind
It's impossible
them,
to move.
Here it is. Vici come from behind. The reinforcements are in. Exorcism used. Sunray there. Crypt Swarm finishes off Ajit. 2 heroes down to the side of Ehome. They're looking for more.
They need
smell
this
blood in the
kill.
water.
Get that dot.
XM.
Oh, that's a very nice gem. They need to pick it up. Ehome diving. I think they just lost like 5,000 gold from this fight.
Yeah. They completely just got bamboozled by the rest of Vici coming in behind them.
Used pretty much everything on the Bristleback. Bristleback just struggles. You know, they send Necro Warriors on you. You have uncontrollable damage coming out of your ass. You're gonna kill those Necro units and will eventually die to the damage, Spirit Vessel, percentage-based damage coming out from the Sunray. It's a tough Bristleback game. He was so close to that BKB. Could change things a bit, but Ori doing some heavy lifting this game on the Death Prophet. Just hit level 20, working towards the BKB.
Yeah, and you could just see that Vici, once they show up behind them, Ehome have recognized that, well, they're in too far.
I've seen this more often lately, where Dead Prophets, instead of getting the HP talent on level 20, get the -3 second Crypt Swarm talent, which goes down to 2 seconds. It's a lot of mana consumed, and the cast animation of the Crypt Swarm got buffed in the previous patch, so that could be the reason.
So now the game's even. Has this fight given Vici now just the opportunity they need to come like and take over this game? Because you said earlier that it looked like late game was all Ehome's, but if they've itemized correctly on Vici, or have they itemized correctly on Vici to really break
I
through
love
that?
those Lotus Orb pickups. Next Assassin does not want to go for the third one. They already have 2. Just wants to be able to have some sort of initiation, follow-up, decides to go for a Blink Dagger. Mars also finishing Pipe, something that we don't see that often. It got nerfed, like all these tanky items, Greaves, Pipe, Crimson Guard got nerfed. You're investing so much gold, like, into teamfight items. It's a 1,500 gold of a recipe, something that Dota players don't like to buy. Here against the Venomancer, you know, Phoenix, I can understand that, but I want to see his next item, whether it's just going to be a BKB. Oh, Lotus Orb. It just feels that it's the best item in this game for Vici Gaming.
Everybody getting a Lotus Orb. Check under your seats. You might find one, because everybody's getting one. So, a refresher for the Phoenix. We've seen when it comes in duos or pairs, it seems to be quite strong.
2 ult
especially
is stronger than 1 for sure.
Yeah, especially when they can't kill the egg. It has not been broken yet, and it's 30 minutes into the game, and it's only getting stronger. If you place one perfectly, great. You get a second one off in the fight, deeper in, even better. Like, that could be very, very problematic for Vici. And now, also, Venomancer Silver Edge.
Break mechanic against Mars, against Bristleback. Venomancer is the hero that can pretty much build any item and is always going to feel good. Not a big fan of that Hand of Midas, but it is what it is. Nice jump on a Phoenix. Where's the follow-up? Arrow hits.
Yeah, they've got the silence on the Beastmaster, so he can't get anything out. Loop forward, and the buyback's used by the Phoenix trying to TP into this one, but they've already lost the Beastmaster with BKB being popped by XM as well as Ajit. They've got the Sunray on a bunch of these heroes. They'll use the Battle Trance. Right clicks coming away onto this Death Prophet. And now the Supernova's placed in a very decent spot. But Vici, they need to decide whether or not they can go after it. They get the kill on Ajit. They'll end up losing the Troll. The BKB
Exorcism still running.
Yeah, Exorcism still going. That means X-Nova's gone. They're going to chase for the rest. Fade bought back. Icarus dive away. XM trying to slow these heroes down. Ooh, Venomous Gale ends up missing. They've got the Yules onto the Venomancer. They put him up into the air. The force staff to the low ground. PYW trying to line up an arrow, leading him.
Ooh,
it pushes
how
him
did
back
that
into
miss?
Ori, who ends up helping PYW to get the kill. He spotted the arrow, backs off, but by backing off, he's just back into hands of Vici.
I just like the way Vici Gaming itemizes. They understand what their win condition is. It's that profit ulti. So Bristleback going for AC, reducing their armor. I see Mirana going for a Solar Crest. She almost had Mirana is so farmed right now, and that gem that they stole, a lot of value from that. Now they're inside the Roche Pit with the Bristleback. It's enough damage. Let's see if they decide to go for some sneaky play. Beastmaster Blink is ready, wants to be able to snatch it. Venomancer also using a courier.
Ooh, Blink God's Rebuke, that ends up missing. Chalice goes in, he's going to be stunned up by DY. Silence as well, they've got the arena down, and now he's out of the pit.
Courier dies.
He is snatched by Erica. Roche was killed
And
by
the cheese as
Radiant,
well.
And they've got the cheese. Oh, Ehome almost coming away like bandits,
Oh,
but
it's
instead,
falling apart for
Vici.
Ehome right now.
Chalice into the trees.
There's no way
arrow.
he's getting out of this one.
Stun hits from DY. No vision on it, but he still gets the kill and the lockdown.
They tried to go for a sneaky play, blink in with a Beastmaster, possibly steal the Aegis. Venomancer was also using a courier. You can pick up the cheese with it. Didn't happen. Courier died, so that's some even extra gold for Vici Gaming. A dead profit, building towards Shields. I think the correct plan is, because they don't have any saving abilities, if they get a good jump on a dead profit, let's say with the Beastmaster Roar, they win a team fight before she can get the Exorcism off.
And these Lotus Orbs are so deadly. You know, not only is it the Dispels, but everybody's got a Lotus Orb on them, and Beastmaster's just like, who do I roar? It's just going to get bounced back at me. Everybody's got this glowing red orb, and I don't know who to go after.
Maybe it's better if I don't use it at all.
Yeah.
They found Thrall.
Oh, the break, the stun, the Crypt Swarm, the Spirit Siphon, BKB gets the Battle Trance off, trying to fight. Here comes Chalice,
The
and
Lotus
there
Orb.
it is. Lotus Orb, Primal Roar, bounce back. You get to smell your own breath, and it's not smelling too good. Ajit, he goes down. Chalice looking like he's next. They're a little bit angry. He put that coffee breath in their face, and, well, they'll take his life for it.
Ori is just playing insanely good this game. Great itemization, great reactions with that Lotus Orb, Exorcism popping straight away when it's needed, taking a team fight after that. So there is a third Lotus Orb coming out on Mars to be able to get rid of that. The Spirit Vessel, Fiery Spirit, Mischance, you name it. Man, Venomancer falling off so quickly right now. He doesn't feel as a core. Yes, you have a BKB, you have a Force Staff, but your damage in the team fights is still pretty limited.
Radiant's bottom tower.
On top of that, the game was just bottomed out for Ehome. Like, they had this great timing. It looked like it was going well, but the itemization from Vici just stopped in its tracks.
And the way they're itemizing, PYW, he wants to be able to scale. He understands, you know, if this game goes on for another 20-25 minutes, I want to become a core. And I still gonna deal damage with the Solar Crest, used aggressively on the enemies. It's just so much like concept of how to win a game that the Vici Gaming understands. Like where the damage is coming from, it's that Prophet ulti, get the armor, get the Lotus Orb to counter the enemy team.
3 Lotus Orbs, Vici. I think they were working on a 4th, yeah. Yeah, Nyx Assassin.
Nyx Assassin also getting one. That's why I said, you know, Bristle, it looks like a really good Lotus game for him, but it's something you do not want to buy as a core Bristle. Aegis still up and running, minute and 30 seconds. They also have Cheese available for Death Prophet. She's getting closer to level 25.
Sentry down. Plague Ward hits DY, so he knows they've got vision on him. They've got the Aegis to work with. Erica, DY moving forward. DY trying to spot somebody maybe lingering behind. Venomancer going for that Ags, while Abyssal's being built for the Bristleback. The Bristle. And, yeah, so 10,000 net worth lead for Vici. Man, the shift in the game, that fight over bottom, it changed the momentum completely.
When they chased Mars near the tier 3 tower while Exorcism is running, just completely ignoring Death Prophet, Arrow.
Phoenix caught Yule's arrow and the stun with the silence. There's nothing
no
that Fate can
buyback
do.
on Phoenix. He used it already.
Exorcism committed, and that should push Ehome away. The question is, does it keep going, and do they go for this tier 3 top? Are they looking for an objective? Erica's leading the way. It looks like
Creep
that's what they
wave
want.
is on the mid lane, so this is where they should connect.
On the high ground they go, looking for the tier 3 mid. 50 seconds until they've got the Phoenix. It's a long time until fades up.
Everyone just has a Lotus Orb on them.
It's the orange globe game. Or reddish globe game. They're getting ready for Valentine's Day. That's what it is. You know? Exuding that pink, red, the hearts, everything.
That makes complete sense to me, B-Cup.
I think you're lying, but it's okay. I'll take it. Because it didn't make sense to me. Erica still just continuing to farm away. And, I mean, he's got the AC, he's got the Basher, like we said, working on the Abyssal. We've seen Bristles with this item build before, really just putting the hurt on.
Vici Gaming is just choking Ehome right now. They cannot get outside of the map and get any farm.
He wanted it. He blinked in. He thought about it. Getting that arena down, fighting into this, but they do have Death Prophet kind of far away from the fight if they were to initiate at that point. I thought Troll was going to take over so much more. It looked like Ajit got a good Battle Fury timing, was farming up really well, sat top the net worth, and then he gets caught a couple times, and his game got slowed down pretty immensely.
There's no real save for Troll in this game. There's like a Force Staff, possibly a Sunray. But if he pops that ulti, starts chasing them, especially into that Prophet ulti, he just melts. Like, you don't really feel, and it's easy for Nyx Assassin to stun him, being close to anyone, stun him off a cleave, break him with Vendetta. So Venomancer not going for the Silver Edge, wants to get the Aghanim Scepter instead.
He's got the gold for it, but Dire all by that secret shop.
I like how tooltip on Aghanim Scepter on Venomancer just says increases damage and decreases cooldown. It doesn't say
There's the Mars
by how
coming through
much.
with the arena, and the Lotus Orb bounces back the Primal Roar once again with the BKBs being popped around the horn. They go after the Mars. They've got the damage to take out all 11 and use the arena, but he's going to end up dead first. BKB runs out for the Death Prophet, has the Spirit Siphon on a couple of these heroes. 4 heroes running away as they hit the arrow on Xnova as well as the stun. They'll get the kill on the Beast, or the Brewmaster, who had the Primal Split to throw, but didn't use it. He does have buyback.
So Ori is 25 plus 8 Exorcism Spirits. That's gonna hurt. Like those ghosts flying around. Now she even finds the Timeless Relic. Let's see if she decides to keep it. Like spell damage is good. The debuff duration, like not the greatest on the Dead Prophet, but yeah, we'll see. So far, holding it. I don't think there's a better item she can hold. And Bristle, man, he finds Flicker. Like that. This is the best possible item he can find in this situation. Like the spell mechanic is just so good.
Guess I don't need a Lotus Orb after all. Guess what he needs? Just took 35 plus minutes. Slowed up for a second. But Solar Crest, Flicker. Flicker being good to him so far, putting him in a good position. We've seen some Flickers be working as a secret agent.
Yeah, you need to know how to use a Flicker to jump in front. I don't know. There isn't a way. I'm just making stuff up. Probably someone thought, man, I wish I knew that. It's just the RNG. But sometimes you're blessed by Gaben. Sometimes Gaben says, yeah, you're just going to lose the game because you flickered the wrong direction.
Yeah, Gaben passing the luck around in scarce times. Finally, a Primal Roar that hits onto Erica. They've got the damage coming through into the Bristleback. And
Flicker
now,
back.
Flicker in the wrong spot. The RNG was there before, but now it's no longer. Supernova off. They're trying to catch this Bristleback. The BKB runs out. They've got the Spirit Vessel on.
Oh,
Flicker again. Oh, God, Flicker.
Okay, it's time to replace the Flicker. Let's see if we can find a better tier 4 item for Bristleback.
Secret Agent Flicker. Oh my God. Working for Ehome. 2 straight jumps back towards Ehome.
Funny to watch when we just talked about it. Like, it should be, you know, at least 50-50. Like, once you jump backwards, once you jump in front.
Or always towards your base.
Nah, that
Is
would be
too
broken.
strong?
That would be broken for sure.
Well, then you can never...
Do defense. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't use it defensively. Nice reaction from XM.
It gets the BKB off, but they still have PYW here, and XM staying so far, but PYW gets spotted, and now Old 11 trying to run.
Roar was 1 second away from being ready. Murana, let's
Lotus
see the
Sword.
jukes.
Yeah. They
Too hard to kill.
They don't have the ability to catch him. Roche, soon, in just a couple seconds, and he will rise from the ashes, which is usually something a Phoenix does, but Roche has that ability too. Ag's Blessing is the 3rd item on Roche. We'll see who ends up getting it. We said both these teams can contest this Roche, so we'll see. But Vici, they go for the smoke. They send the courier in. There is a Hawk with vision over there.
There's so many good Axe carriers on Vici Gaming side. Like Bristle. Mars is also decent. I think that one has potential. You do not want to spend 4,000 gold, but if you get it for free, it looks good. Dead Profit, for sure.
Now, what's the trick behind the Ags Mars? You like double click it really quickly?
Yeah. Keep toggling it on and off.
Okay. Yeah, I've never used that yet, so haven't had that opportunity to test it
For
myself.
some reason, it works on buildings as well. I mean, it's a lot of gold investment.
Yeah, quite a bit. And might have a chance to get it for free here if he's the one they so choose. Like you said, a lot of heroes on Vici would like it. Brewmaster for Ehome would love it. That
Sure,
would
like
be-
Beastmaster's not the greatest Venomancer already. Has his good stun into
The
Arena.
stun, as well as the spear and the silence that comes out onto the Brewmaster. They get the kill on X-Nova. He's got buyback. He's going to use it immediately with the BKBs used around the horn. That's Erica backing off. Supernova goes off. And now they've got the ulti
Mars
available
just
once
tanking
again.
everything.
Icarus dive, looking for the Supernova. It's on the high ground. They get the kill on Aja. They'll end up losing Old 11. The buyback's going to be for the Trollo. Look over at DY. They're continuing to chase the Nyx Assassin. They've got the Primal
He
Split. They've
dodges
got
the stun.
Cyclone into the air, onto this Death Prophet. They get the kill onto Ori. They look for DY. He's getting low, slowed up immensely, and killed off. Oh, Bristleback, as well as this Murana still running. Erica's been caught. He's gone too. Triple kill for Chalice. 4 heroes gone on Vici. Come here, Roche.
That's a big
That's the big
turn.
prize.
Exactly. They used 2 buybacks, one on XG, one on X-Nova. We'll get the Cheese Ages and Aghanim's from that. That Prophet did not have the ulti there.
The refresher from Phoenix, very big, goes to the Supernova early in this fight with the fight just right in the arena. BKB is all over the place. The Supernova's going to go off, and it stuns up the Mars, who is soaking a lot of that damage. You see Death Prophet trying to get things done. They get the stun finally onto the Troll. They'll get the kill, and he's forced to buy back immediately. So that was a good second Supernova coming out. It's just so disgusting when you have that double A.
Very hard to fight into, especially since there's Supernova coming out from that egg. Level 20 talent. Arrow. Misses.
So they gave the Ags to the Phoenix. Fade has.
Dyer's middle barracks.
I think it's the best choice. Like, Troll doesn't have too many things to dispel. Beastmaster Ash just feels a bit underwhelming, and you want to have it on the core. Venomancer already has his, so this is a 2 set of barracks. Still feel they could potentially come back into this game. It's a 5k gold lead for Ehome right now, but need to be very careful about how they approach the next fight. They lose a fight, no buybacks, game just ends.
Yeah, it feels like the game is open for business for either team. It's not one way or the other, even though Vici had that big lead. They find the stun onto XM. DUI. Eagles. All right, so they slow up XM for a moment. Nothing big. Old 11 thinking about going in as well. These plague wards are such a nuisance.
It's so hard to fight into, just the continuous slow. Like, look at Mars moving at 276 move speed.
And you've got level 26, so the Venomancer has 2.6 times Plague Ward HP and damage. They're horrible to be up against.
Has 8,000 gold in the bank. Wants to go for the Octarine core. Maybe a Hex would have been a better choice.
Buys
Just
out
that
on
instant lockdown. Doesn't even use the Octarine core. He's like, maybe I need cheese instead. I would definitely replace the Force Staff with the Octarine core.
Yeah, I agree. All right, he just gives the cheese over to
that works.
Troll. I think that's fair. As long as he could stay alive. They'll take this outpost. We're closing in on 50 minutes here. AC picked up by the Beastmaster. Aeon Disc for the Brew, who's been blown up multiple times, and that's what forced the buyback in the previous fight. And now that you've got this Aeon Disc, it almost feels impossible to stop him from getting that split off. They're smoked up, as well as the Moonlight Shadow. I think X-Nova, he's pinging it out. He might have spotted that. PYW holding the high ground. The rest of the team was coming around. They've got the stun on Ajit. Now they'll find the silence. Coming around the back is going to be Ori. He's got the Lotus Sword. There's the egg. Saves him. But is it going to get off? The right clicks just aren't enough.
It's not enough.
There's the Supernova going off. They get the kill into PYW. They look over at Erica with the BKB. Exorcism's running for Ori. Blink in from DY as well as the stun being thrown. But that's not going to land on anybody. They've got the silence on Bolt the Troll as well as the Venomancer is now. There's the Arena. Spear coming through onto the Beastmaster. Phoenix comes in.
Egg again.
Has the egg again with the refresher. But here comes the Marauder. Right clicks in. Is it going to pop? No! It doesn't get off. They go down. Beastmaster, Phoenix, they're both out of here.
This is their chance.
Forced to buy back. They've got the BKB pop by the Troll. Check out the Aegis. Erica doing a lot of damage here. Focuses his attention onto XM. X-Nova, he's still trying to stand tall, trying to help out as best he can. He doesn't have the
Oh, another good stun.
On the Ajit. It's the stuns coming through from DY that just help out so much to take out the Troll. Poison Nova use. Flicker not helping Erica. Kicks him away from XM, who's trying to TP. But there's the Yules into the air and the kill onto the Venomancer. They end up losing PYW, but 3 heroes, I believe 4 heroes died
Troll.
for Ehome.
I felt like Troll didn't do any damage in that fight. Like, he had Satanic ready, he still had the cheese. I believe Minotaur Horn was also available. One good save from Phoenix. The second one was, you know, so-so, kind of killed his teammate there, but it's a risky play that you want to go for it. We see something similar in the previous game with the Batrider, you know, just going for that shard upgrade, saving his teammates.
It had to be done, though. You have to take that risk, and sometimes you get nervous about holding it, but there was most likely no reason to be nervous. For the most part, that's the first egg that's been blown up. You have that confidence that every time I use Supernova, it goes off. Even Mirana right there, right on the Phoenix, it doesn't go and get cracked the first time. It's the second time where Mirana commits and there's nobody else to help, you know, stop Mirana from taking that egg with the Mars.
That's pretty much their only egg hitter. AC helps quite a bit, but still very hard because there's also Aghanim Scepter upgrade on a Phoenix.
Look at that! Oh, it was just a split second away on this replay. Just
so close.
Sliver. It's game changing. I mean, that's how close it can be. I would say inches, but you're not measuring like that. I guess
Erica
nanoseconds.
Erica just practicing Flicker, you know, trying to understand how the item works.
Getting the bad ones out.
Yeah, just blinking towards the enemy base. When he needs it defensively, blink towards his.
Standing at the tier 3 of the Radiant side, flickering in between the tier 4s. It happens.
So there's a Wind Waker being built by the Dead Prophet, Arcane Rune in the bottle. She has buyback available, so I don't think you want to fully commit.
Dire are scanning.
Next Roche
Roche.
could respawn in 2 minutes.
Yep. We'll see if it's a short or a long one. Could be 2 minutes from now. Could be 4.5 minutes from now. And then we're on the 50-minute mark. This is the point in the game where you start thinking about tier 5s. I know they're 10 minutes away, but if at this point we've seen so many games kind of stagnate from
Oh yeah,
50 to
Bristleback
60.
has been thinking about tier 5 items for a very long time after those 2 bad flickers.
Get me something else, please.
Look at his move speed, 100 move speed. He's not moving. Flicker, back to normal move speed. I'm just kidding. You get a ton of value against this type of a lineup.
It's just such a toss-up, though. When you want to leave and, you know, Flicker, I feel like, is that meme. Mom, can I get Blink Dagger?
We
No,
got a Blink Dagger at home, yeah.
Flicker. Primal Roar used, and a 3-man stun coming in from DY. We'll look over at Erica. They've got the BKB popping as well as the Lotus Orb and the Moonlight Shadow to hide under. They're trying to run Exorcism pop. They've got the right clicks onto the Nyx Assassin. They get the kill on a 1. He's got buyback, dead for 100 seconds. We'll see if he uses it. Immediately does and TPs over to the outpost. Erica being slowed down. Flicker again. Doesn't get into the low ground. Venomous Gale hits. He doesn't have the Flicker to dispel that right now. So he is slowed down
3
for a
arrows,
moment,
doesn't
now
hit
Flicker
anything.
again available. Lotus Orb, BKB, pop by XM, moving forward. Cinderbrew thrown out, but they've got the Abyssal Blade from Erica onto XM as well as the arena coming down to the spear.
Another good
But
egg.
Bounce off the side. Egg over in onto the left of the arena. They get the Kona XM. He's there for 100 seconds. He could buy back, but he's going to be so far away from the fight.
A refresher.
They got the stun from DY coming out once again. That's going to hit the Troll as well as the Brewmaster as they're continuing to chase. Looking over at X-Nova. They're throwing him up with the Viscous Nasal Goo. Ajit thinks about going in the Supernova again.
They
That
gotta
should
go for the
deter
egg.
Vici. They can't get the egg. They've slowed down Old 11. He turns once more. The silence out from the Death Prophet onto the Troll and the stun
Arrow
from DY.
gets him.
DY has been on it with these stuns. He constantly hits multiple heroes and they take out Ajit. He's got buyback. So does X-Nova. They look over at XM. They'll get the kill on the Venomancer. They'll take him out for the second time. Gone for 2 minutes. Ehome, all these options, but they're just not working out. Vici unscathed throughout entire fight.
And because that Prophet used ulti with that Arcane Rune, now she has it available once again. Like, these ghosts, they just melt them. And the Timeless Relic, spell damage that works on ghosts is just so good. Let's see the Roche respawn timer. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. 7,000 gold in the bank for that Prophet. We're also approaching some level 30s slowly.
Getting there. It's a fight like that, though. You watch it again. Early BKB from XM, Abyssal Blade on the end of it. Arena, Poison Nova. Supernova's a little bit to the left. Maybe would have been better closer to the fight, but it's hard to risk. Maybe he's feeling a little bit unsure. But look, watch DY. Focus your attention if you're watching from home. How many stuns he's hit.
Middle tower is
They've
under
been
attack.
on point. This Mirana, she deals ton of damage. Manta style, MKB.
Here comes DY, staying away from the Supernova. Blink, 2-man stun, in on it. And then the arrow on the X-Nova. Wow. It's
Radiant's
been
middle tower is under
just
attack.
the supports from Vici dominating. They're going to go for the
Victor.
tier 4 push. They want it all. They don't have buyback available on XM. They're going to blink forward. They've got the stun from the Spike characters coming in on the 2 heroes. Exorcism is used. Like you said, the short cooldown, a 2-man
good
stun from
stun
DY
again.
onto the Brew and the Beastmaster. Both Masters getting stunned up. They're in the air. Arena down. That's just
Zoning
keeping them away.
Arena.
It's to get the tier 4s. They've got the Primal Roar, but that's going to be bounced. into the
Bashes on
Lotus
Death
Orb.
Prophet.
Sunray, Death Prophet in some trouble. There's the Yules in the air trying to survive. Icarus dive as well as the Supernova, but it's not in the right spot this time. Fade, he's tried so hard, but he's gotten oh so far, and Ehome drop like flies. Vici
That's
will
game.
take the game.
That's
They'll
game,
take the
Bcop.
series.
They're disconnecting.
Wow. Just like that, Vici, they have 2 straight fights that just come back, and Ehome end up losing. I mean, it looked like it was Ehome's game to take. They were going on to the top tier 3 as well as the set of racks, and Vici, I don't know how they pull that off. That was insane.
A crazy game from Vici Gaming. The support duo has been on point,
Yeah.
and Ori on his Death Prophet. I don't think that's the hero you want to give to Ori, because he feels so comfortable just playing that hero, and the decision making in the end to go for the throne straight away, zoning Arena.
Yeah.
Man, it was a great series to watch.
Yeah, and you know, it does end 2-0, but you got to watch the games to know that both of them were
Yeah.
just very exciting the entire time. I mean, I was excited. You were excited. I think everybody at home was excited. I just want to hear, panel, what are you guys feeling right now? Are you excited? Throw it back over to you guys. Hear what you think.
Yes, Speak Up. We are very excited over here on the panel. We have some very excited panel members with us.
Yes, we are
here.
very excited.
Excited,
right here.
excited, Black?
Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting series all round. We enjoyed it very much.
Yes.
And we will now talk about how good that series was.
It was a
yeah.
very good performance
good.
by team Vici Gaming. Very
Yes.
good. Yes.
Very good.
Ehome tried to fight back, they just couldn't.
They tried.
But no, I mean, that's the 2-0 victory for Vici Gaming here, taking down Ehome twice, and you know it was close. Ehome, they
Man,
bought some fresh
how?
ideas.
Like how the hell do you manage to lose this game? It's my brain.
Dude, so many clutch moments in the end there. I mean, that egg just being popped at the very last second, in the very last fight. This part was crazy. Like this was.
Yeah, this is.
I think people forgot how Death Prophet works.
Do we see the?
Yeah, they're trying to stand a little bit too far. He's thinking, okay, I have Necros, I have my boards,
Marauder
PYW,
stacking, he's just like,
stacking, he
oops.
kills him here. Man, you have this Veno, Panda, unkillable Egg, and Beastmaster. You have 4 heroes that can do whatever the hell they want to do in this game because they stomped the laning stage as well. So they can just work together. Why is Ajit joining fights that early on? With the Battle Fury, just go AFK, man. Just farm your items. You have these 4 protect 1. You have the better core. You can fight later on and just completely dominate if you're strong enough in that mid game. But he's kind of always on par. He doesn't excel his farming patterns that significantly, even with Battle Fury. That was a little bit late, by the way. And then one huge thing for me wasn't only that high ground push, is the fact that they don't adjust their playstyle to the BKBs purchased on the side of Vici Gaming. Once BKBs are purchased, around that shrine is the first fight in which Phoenix also buybacks, tries to go in the fight once again. And that's kind of where Vici Gaming obviously didn't take full control of the game, but realized, okay, we have a game plan now. We can fight these fights.
So what exactly do you mean by not adjusting to the BKBs?
You need to kite them. Like your damage, besides the troll, is purely magical. Like you're not dealing a lot of right clicks. Your physical damage output isn't that high, especially with the way Veno itemized as well. There is some, but not a lot. Once those BKBs come online, you need to kite them. You need to get out. You have 4 staffs. You have itemized for that, but you just stand and fight.
All right, Black. You get the easy job. You get to talk about the other side of the coin. Talk to me about how well Vici played to turn this game around.
Vici struggled super much until Ehome. You know, sad to say, but I kind of gave it to them. They were diving the bottom tier 3 tower very early into the game when they weren't ready to fight. Vici wiped them, and then ever since then they were pretty much in control. There was like a glimmer of hope here in this fight again
This
as
fight
well.
was so close. Like literally frames off this egg going off, gets destroyed, and then...
Okay, Black, I know you've been saying it behind, but we can't dance around the elephant. We need to address it in the room. Ajit, bottom lane, when they're pushing high ground, does not pop his ulti even though he has it and he's not silenced. Here as well, he dies with what? He used the Aegis, right? But he still had cheese, and before the Aegis he popped the BKB, so he didn't have ult.
I mean, just overall it seemed very off. Like he just misused his cooldowns, misjudged the plays, you know. As I said again, like it's easy to harp on carries because late game, it's all on the carry, you know. One wrong decision can cost you the game. He has made 3 wrong decisions in 3 consecutive fights, and I think it's just Ehome in general. Like late game, they just seem very lost, you know. Like we have seen a couple of games where mid game they come back, have great fights, but then come late game, the decision making as a whole is just not very good anymore. Like they're falling apart on late game, it seems.
Talking about positives, the fact that Vici Gaming managed to pull this one out of the bag and just play some crazy team fights with multiple impales, with those arrows landing on those impales, with Mars kiting very well with the arenas. Itemization was solid. That Prophet, man, this hero is like Lacoste said. When you give it to Ori, he just dominates. On the panel we said, okay, this Bristle might not be the hard carry, he might not win the game on his own, but that Prophet has a lot of potential. Then the itemization as well. Look at Mirana, Solar Crest, Lotus Orb first, then Mantime KB. He realized, guys, we don't have damage, someone needs to deal it. I'll do it. And Mirana definitely can. You have the talents, you have the shard that's really solid as well.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't giving them the opportunities, or Vici Gaming weren't giving Ehome the opportunities late game to find like an easy kill, turn it into Roshan, an easy Roshan, turning it into a high ground or anything like that. Like, they played so tight in the late game in not giving up these little advantages which can snowball into so much more in the late game. And I think that discipline is definitely a huge, huge green flag for Vici Gaming and them, how they develop as a team. Yes, we want to see more from them. Yes, we want to see improvements. But from today, what they did, it was more than enough for them to secure the 2-0 versus Ehome. And yeah, I mean, still a really tight series, still really played from Ehome. How are they going to be feeling it after this on the side of Ehome, do you think?
I mean, they're
Sad.
they're 1-3 now, right?
Yeah.
Which means the top 4 is likely out of reach at this point. So they're going to be fighting to be in that 5th, 6th position to retain their spot for the next season.
Yeah.
But so obviously the morale is probably not great, but you know, you still got to focus. You can't drop down to those bottom 2 spots, because if you do, you're out.
Okay, they still did not play versus Magma or LBZS, so because of that, I expect them to be able to retain that middle of the pack position.
If they lose to one of them, though,
if they lose to one of
drop down
them,
to that.
but they still have 1 win at least. But yeah, they can even it out. And
Yeah, there could be tiebreakers and stuff. Just don't drop any more serious at this point. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
Don't lose.
Yes. Important now.
I'm sad, man. Xnova has been my faithful correspondent from the Chinese region, telling us some insights about heroes and what they like to pick, what not, who they think is the strongest team, and now feels kind of bad after he loses a lot, you know, like how do you message him, hey bro?
Interesting.
Hey, well played. I was close, bro, but don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. By the way, can you tell me, what do you think about Elephant right now, man?
That's that's a rough situation to be in. But I'll tell you who wasn't having a rough game. PYW. He was having an absolutely amazing game, and that is why he's going to be our MVP for this second game. Of course, absolutely nailing spell after spell. Constantly. I mean, PYW was an absolute menace.
What about Ajit?
Or
nice. That was.
Is this some? Okay.
There's some reverse psychology going on there.
Yeah. We'll just skip past that one.
There we go.
There we are. PYW MVP on the Marauder. Arrow after arrow. Spell after spell.
Yeah. Did they put Vici Gaming's jersey on Ajit there? I didn't see. Was that a troll move? Yeah.
It looked kind of suspect.
Yeah, it's a little sus. Carry little sus.
I'm sure it was just a mistake. Kill position patient 0.83 on this Marauder, which is a huge amount. Always there. 21 assists. Really doing some heavy lifting in this game and landing those arrows, which ended up being so important, especially in the chase downs. And yeah, really nice. Last thing I want to ask you guys before we move on from this series. What did you guys think about the Venomancer?
Worked out really well, I think.
Yeah, his itemization and the skill build was a little bit different than what I've come to expect from Venomancers right now. Like, he went 0-4-4. I believe he took 1 Gale before maxing out both the other ones, but he did max out the snakes just to be able to push and
but functionally, did the Venomancer do what you wanted this pick to do in this draft?
Definitely. I mean, they had a huge advantage, you know. They just kind of gave it away, a couple of small misplays here and there. But overall, the hero was really well. Even late game, you know, with that Aghanim Scepter, his Supernova deals close to 3,000 magic damage. Carried a couple of these fights. So.
Could have maybe itemized a little bit differently. Maybe there are some different options for Venomancer right now.
I just don't like the Midas. Other than the Midas, I think the item build was good. I mean, you can get away with it. It's just...
If you're, I look at it this way: if you're itemizing into the Midas, then you need to justify it with some big items later on, right? Like if you're going into the late game with it. But if you just go for these 4 staffs Midas, you know, it feels kind of puny. Like you're not bringing too much
items.
Yeah, too many small ones.
The Sven syndrome. You have no slots.
Yep.
Yeah, just filling yourself up with the little things and lacking that big punch and impact. But nonetheless, did do very well until those last few fights where the Venomancer ended up falling off and unfortunately couldn't pull them through for the victory in the end. But of course, the standings have now been updated and look a little something like this. So poor old Ehome now 1-3. 1 loss, 3 losses in the series. Not looking good for them at all. Vici Gaming, meanwhile, they are keeping up these wins. They are now 3-1, joining the likes of IG and Astra. And if IG are asked to drop a game, then they'll be neck and neck with Vici Gaming. So they are snapping at the heels of those teams, trying to bring them down, trying to get themselves into that top 2 and secure themselves that guaranteed major group stage or playoff, which is, of course, what you get for 1 and 2. You get playoff for position 1, you get group stage on position 2, and then wildcard for 3 and 4 here in China. But Vici looking very, very set to go to Singapore at the moment with their current history.
But deceiving, though. Because they didn't play the strongest teams yet. They still have all of them ahead of them, pretty much.
Yeah, great point.
It's gonna be.
They played IG,
IG,
right? That's the only loss
which
that
they
they
lost
have.
to. Pretty
to
one-sided affair, also. So that's the only real, test they've had so far, and they failed that one pretty miserably.
We're waiting for PSG, LGD, and Aster matches, right? Like that's really what we're looking for. We're looking at those 2 slots that are going to be very spicy.
And talking about LGD and Aster, we have the schedule available for Sunday. So let's have a look about what games we have going on this Sunday. We have Team Magma versus LBZS, and then we have Elephant versus LGD. So no Aster, but we do get to watch LGD playing versus Elephant, which is going to be a very telling match. And of course, Magma versus LBZS. Those 2 bottom teams scrapping it out in a nice little matchup there to
the toilet bowl.
yeah, it is.
I learned this one from damn, what's his name? The Canadian. Come on,
the Canadian Trent.
Canadian Trent, exactly.
There we go.
Our Canadian boy Trent. I'm sorry, I can't believe I forgot his name. But yeah.
He calls it the toilet bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fitting for this one. Our 2 teams which have really not looked anything like any of the other teams in the in this division. They'll be battling it out for a battle of pride, for last place, which is going to be entertaining. But more importantly, Elephant versus LGD, who many would have said will be your number 1 and number 2 in this division, are battling out in a match which may well decide which one of them is going to the major, if at all. I mean, Elephant's not looking good for them at all right now. LGD still have a few more games to play, but yeah, either of these teams could be failing to make it to the major, which is huge. So they really need this win. It's going to be a super important game. If you had to predict it today, which one would you say is going to take the victory?
PSG, LGD.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very simple, very easy. There is obviously Elephant have been doing well in the past, and they have taken some tournaments in December even, not so long ago. But right now their form just does not look on point. Their drafts also do not look on point. And even when the drafts are good, they look disconnected in their games. And you can't just constantly expect them to improve and play better and show up, because time is passing, and so far they didn't show anything.
But they might.
They might. They never know.
It's just, objective analysis, probably not.
Yeah.
But there's a chance,
There's
which
a
we
chance.
all are hoping for, because, they're a superstar team. Always will be, unless they disband if things don't go right.
Which
we
hopefully
don't
isn't going
hope
to
for, of
happen.
They'll
course.
still stay
I mean,
superstar players, no matter what. Yeah.
I think there's more likely to be changes and not huge disbands. But, I mean, we know this team can pull off wins. We know this team can dominate the whole region if they're playing to their potential. They're just not doing it. The DPC, something about it has thrown them off, whether that's the pressure of playing for DPC points and
Well, hopefully
playing
not.
towards that big TI goal, which is a really bad sign because this team
For
would
them?
want to win.
Yeah, but they're so
TI.
experienced. Like, if they really feel pressure, then I don't know what's happening.
There's probably this situation with the coach as well, not having it and having it too late.
It's very stressful. Like the entire situation around that Elephant, there has been a lot of rumors and
Well, the rumors
all
that they
stuff.
couldn't afford ROTK,
Yeah,
so
and then
we need to
with
crowdfund?
Siler, everything. There's just a lot of outside stuff going on.
How many TIs do you need to win or come second to afford ROTK?
yeah,
He's
This is
expensive.
great.
He's
My
expensive.
goodness. Let's crowdfund for RTK. We can fund TI. We might as well fund RTK getting to Elephant.
They could
all right.
hire Black. Like, he's advertising his coaching on stream all the time. Like, I guess
Yeah,
you're not.
pub coaching,
Are you
same
expensive
thing.
as ROTK?
Nah,
No,
I'm a little
you're
bit cheaper, like 5%.
5% cheaper.
But
there you go.
5% off his cost.
I see. Is that some promo code, maybe BSJ or?
But trust me, dude, he's like 5 million. Being 5% of that is not bad at all.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
I-
good rate.
Wait, 5 million
shame.
for what are we talking here? Like one DPC season or maybe a year?
I have no idea, honestly. Like, these China prices are way more than any other region.
Yeah,
It's like millions, billions,
I see.
trillions of
To be
dollars.
fair, I would pay 5% of 5 million to get Black as a coach. Just not for any in-game stuff. No offense, I'd love that, but mostly I think your pool would just be that Shia LaBeouf style.
Motivation?
Sitting behind us whilst I'm drafting, going, "Come on, just pick it, just play."
They would not lose if I was there. It's like FY is like, should I pick Rubik or Shaker? Pick one of them!
Exactly.
No! Like, okay, do it!
It's so
He's
funny
like,
because this is exactly what he does to B-Cop at the gym. He's literally like, just do it!
That's what Elephant need. That's what Elephant need. Elephant, if you're watching, then Black, he can be out there by tomorrow and just shout at your players and get them into gear, because that is definitely what they need. Alrighty, we are now reaching the end of the show. Just a short stream today. Guys, what do you recommend our viewers do with the rest of their days? Any suggestions?
Play more Dota.
As
Play
long
more
as
Dota.
you enjoy your day, that's all that matters. Be happy.
Yeah.
How
Be
wholesome.
happy.
How wholesome.
And share the love.
Share the love. Be happy and share your happiness.
If you don't
with
know
others
what to
around
do
you.
with your time, help someone.
Ah.
There you go.
Ah.
I read that was on Reddit. It was like one of those most upvoted posts or whatever. There you go.
And don't pick techies.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's not spreading.
Because you're not
happiness
helping
or
anyone.
love. No, you're not helping anyone,
Yeah.
and we will hate you for it. Anyway, it's the end of the show. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, tune in on Sunday for more Chinese DPC action as the teams battle it out to earn their spot in the Singapore Major. But from us here in the panel and here at the Perfect World Studios, we're going to be saying goodbye. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.